Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes too. Hello, my friends. Welcome and welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for tonight's event, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, Tithes of Acheron. This is episode 14, although my notes say 4 for some reason. But this is episode 14 of Segmentum First Into the Maw. And with me, of course, are my wonderful Grimdark players, Alturios, Warner, Darius, and Rev. Let's take a moment to briefly check in with the players. Before I do that, though, I do want to point out, for those that did not catch it, in the last, 3 months-ish that we haven't been playing, unfortunately, Rodance has had to drop out of the game due to various scheduling problems. However, I get to play her character now, so Winter is now about to become the Dark Lord of the Sith version of a Psyker. It's going to be great. Anyway, let's check in with the players, see what's new and exciting for them, as my son does not eyeball me like I said something incredibly weird. Alturios, what's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Not much. Well, a lot
Not much.
that's
It's been
happened,
3 months,
but
brother. But yeah,
yeah.
let's go with the Reader's
Currently,
Digest version.
well, Christmas was good. So was New Year's.
Good,
Um,
good.
and having family visit this week later, so it'll be fun.
Let's see who's next. Let me get over to get the correct window I want open here. Rev. Normally I don't lead off with you so early. Usually I save you for last because you're the Lord Captain. But Lord Captain Brigadio Van Breeze something or other. With all sorts of titles.
Did he actually say that right for once?
He did. He said Brigadio.
Listen, 3 months.
Wow.
I've been practicing, damn it. I have not been practicing. Listen, that was totally luck. It was a shot in the dark.
Brigadio Van Breeze Gisbeth III.
And
First of Avalon,
titles.
Defender of the Order of St. Drusus,
Jesus,
recipient of the Calixtus Star, Killer of Pirates.
Killer of Pirates. He made that one up on the spot.
What was the name of that ship that we've...
It was
Seeker of the Righteous Path.
Right. Savior of the Seeker of the Righteous Path. Now currently Pursuit of Profit.
Well, it's not Pursuit of Profit yet. Or no, wait. Pursuit of Profit is one of
It is being rebuilt. It is being rebuilt, but we've already.
Oh, you're talking about that ship that you rescued.
Yes, the Pilgrim ship.
On the way here, that I can't remember the name of that ship. It was like the Penitent Traveler or something like that, but you renamed it to something else.
Pursuit of Profit.
Yeah, that's right. But it's not Profit Money, it's Profit Religious.
Right.
Which is amusing. But anyway. Rev, it's been 3 months. Give us something that's new and exciting for you.
Well, the first week we didn't meet in November. Let me tell you about that week.
Oh, God, here we go. I feel like he just pulled out a 16-page essay.
Guys, so, don't worry about it.
He's been taking notes.
I only dreamt of Omar once this previous week, and I wept for a full day because it was only one time.
All of the chances I didn't get to yank your chain, all those unyanked chains. No, it's been relatively good. Can't think of anything particularly positive or negative that has happened during that time period.
All
right. Holidays went good. Kite just got through visiting for several days. She had there was a conference in town for anyone in the PT industry.
And I'm assuming that means physical therapy and not physical training, because that's what I'm used to it being.
Right. Well, outside of the military, PT typically means physical therapy.
Yes. I remember a MechWarrior Online night, and you were like, all right, guys, I got to go. I got PT in the morning. I'm like, you're in the Army? And it was like, no, nowhere near. In fact, pretty much the opposite. I am broken, and I have to go learn how to redo things with my body.
And ironically,
that could be someone who just got out of the Army.
It could have been. It
could be.
It happens.
But ironically, one of those times I actually did break myself more. I don't know if I ever told the story, but I stayed up late. I didn't actually have anything hydrating to drink. I was drinking some iced tea, and apparently that's
the caffeine.
Somewhat of a diuretic.
Yep.
In terms of pulling water out of your system. and went and did a bunch of cardio, put myself in quite a bit of pain, and apparently a lot of pain and not a lot of water isn't really great for you staying conscious.
No, it's generally not. I think you
But-
told. I remember you being like you had told us the story. I don't know if it was live or if it was just a group of us getting together, but it was like you. Yeah, I remember you were like, "Yep, I spent all day drinking all this stuff that was not very good for hydration," and then the next day went and did a whole bunch of PT stuff, and it was not a pleasant day.
Got a free trip to the hospital and a 6-month delay in all my surgeries.
That's definitely a way to look at it.
There you go.
Congratulations, Darius. It's been 3 months, but well, not for you because you've been on the channel as recently as the second week of January, I think. So it's been more like a month or so since the last time people saw you. What's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Well, for those who didn't watch that, just a lot of holiday stuff. Pretty typical. Nothing really special. Lots of gaming. Battletech, among other things.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Yep. Not a whole lot, mentionable.
Some things are better left unmentioned, mostly revolving around Rev, but I digress.
Yeah, life goes on.
Yeah. All right, well, Warner, I think you're the last one other than my little bit of an update that I have, which isn't really much, but please tell us what's new and exciting for you over the last several weeks, months, whatever.
So I have been playing a game called Mechabellum for a while now. I've been playing it since it was in beta. It is now in full release. But I got more involved in it, and my MMR is up to 1400, which is not great, but it's a solid good. The real excellent people have like a 2000 MMR, so I'm nowhere near them. But I am Diamond 1 on the season, and I'm pretty proud of that.
That sounds like a higher level rating than average. I'm assuming this is a mechy sort of game of some sort.
It is an auto battler. It's a tactical auto battler.
Okay.
So
Interesting. I'm seeing some clips on the Steam page right now. Looks interesting. I don't know if it's something I would get into, but that's just a me thing.
if it's something that intrigues you at all, I can send you a couple of YouTube channels.
Okay.
It does
Okay,
require
Moses?
one to be rather deft of mind.
And
I'm sorry. One more time. I didn't quite catch one of those words in there. Rev.
I said what I had to say.
Okay. All
he
right.
said it requires one to be rather deft of mind.
Oh, mental agility. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm gonna go.
Oh, it's a tactical game. Yeah, some mental
Yeah.
agility is required.
Listen, over the break that we've had, this extended break, I did a Ultimate General Civil War attempt, and I played the first couple of battles, and I did fairly well. And then I just lost interest in the game because of other things, and also my computer went away for a week to get new parts put into it. Or
If I remember the correct game, though.
newer used parts. Yes, Rev, you were saying.
No insult intended, but if I remember the correct game, I'm surprised you did well on the first few missions.
I want to point out this was Ultimate General Civil War, not Ultimate Admiral sailing something or other, where I promptly was lost as soon as I started playing the tutorial. I ended up picking up both games. I was like, all right, let's see what we got here. Because the Age of Sail has always been an interest of mine. Basically anything from 1500s up to, before the metal boats became a thing. And, certainly the piracy side of things is always interesting as a game player.
But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, involve Omar and it becomes the Age of Fail, am I right?
Not wrong.
Oh boy.
Not wrong. I think the only time I've done well in any sort of Age of Sail era is one of the Total War games. I'm gonna say Empires. It
Probably would have been Empires, yeah.
takes place roughly the time of the American Revolutionary War or thereabouts, and I played as the Russians and managed to basically conquer, I don't know, like 80 or 90% of the world before I gave up on the game. And I had a lot of ships of the line first rate. So, or whatever the specific title is, I don't remember. But,
One of the other things that I've done in the off time is I went into super nerd mode for BattleTech.
Uh-oh.
I found some information around a calculation called expected damage efficiency for weapons.
Okay.
And I thought it was really cool, and I saw all these pretty charts that were made up around it, and I was like, yeah, but that doesn't take battle value into consideration. So I took it upon myself to make an EDE per BV spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel.
The nerd wheels in my brain are spinning really fast. The not nerd wheels of a BattleTech enjoyer that I am are also like, this is interesting, but the nerd needs to shut up.
And I found out that essentially battle value is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's a horrible.
the
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
the
stepping all over you.
expected damage efficiency stuff is a great predictor of what effective weapons will be. The ED expected damage efficiency per battle value calculation means that it just says, hey, these things cost next to nothing. And that is the bigger value swing on that particular calculation. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a ratio that will make it more sane and less stupid, because apparently the ISER small laser is like the ultimate weapon as far as
I've heard that
expected
theory
damage
before.
efficiency per battle value goes.
Now, have you considered as well the heat side of it? The damage
That's
versus
part of
heat versus
expected
battle
damage
value.
efficiency.
Oh, so the heat is actually part of that damage
Does it
efficiency.
take range into
crunch.
consideration?
Yep. So
Did it take
the
what
first
into
part,
consideration, Materials?
range.
Oh,
'cause
range. I don't think it
So-
does.
ER small, I think, has the same range as a regular medium.
Expected damage efficiency
7 or 8, I think.
starts with the range hit chance calculations, which are known values. We know what the probabilities of rolling those dice results are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so you can take whatever dice bracket at whatever range and apply it, and you can see your percent chance of doing a certain amount of damage. So your range hit chance gets multiplied by the weapon's damage, giving you an expected damage value. Then you get a heat per ton calculation, which I won't go into because that's a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I feel like that's when you start throwing the heat per tonnage in there, that starts really playing with number crunching. That's going to start
But
losing
expected
my
damage
brain power.
efficiency is your expected damage value, which, if you'll remember, is the range time,
the percentage times range.
the percentage of range times your weapon damage, divided then by your heat per ton. And that overall is the figure called expected damage efficiency.
I hear you, Alterios. Alterios, you good? He's having comms issues, or maybe my about to shit on me.
I heard him talk briefly while I was talking, and now nothing.
I can hear
He
you guys
said-
again. I think it's my
Oh,
internet.
Okay,
It might be your internet.
it could be.
I heard you say, "Oh, hello," and I thought someone had come up behind you and was talking to you.
All right, well, for those interested in getting into all the number crunchy bits of BattleTech, I feel like Warner is a great person to get a hold of because he has found some spreadsheets and done some math magic. I think after a while, I think I would just lose my shit and just give up trying to figure it out myself. I tend to go with, what in my mind should work, and then I find out usually most previously how wrong I was, especially if I'm playing that fucker right over there on the other face on the screen. Although I have been able to hold my own more or less, not really 50-50 of the time. But I digress. Let's go ahead and play some damn Warhammer finally. Let's see.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Listen. There was no slight intended in there.
Look,
Previously-
your MechWarrior Online builds were fine.
No, let's not talk about MechWarrior Online builds. Previously on Tithes of Acheron, upon arriving at Footfall, the explorers have met with both Moros Tanthus, the Liege of Footfall, and then later the Inquisitors Sabrina and Drymos. A formal dinner event is held aboard the Acheron's ferry featuring catered burritos made to order and as a dessert, upside-down pineapple grenade cake that was delivered and served with a unique flourish. Provided with additional motivation for securing the wreck. Oh my god, my son is talking in the middle of me talking. What?
Is the pineapple grenade Canadian?
No, it's not Canadian. I don't know what I have no idea where he's going with that. No. It was a cake. Provided with additional motivation for securing the wreck of the righteous path, the crew of the Acheron's ferry set out for where they believe it to be, somewhere in the Moguro system. We are skipping over acquisition rolls. I know this is a travesty for everybody here. Sorry, you'll just have to live with it. We're going to go straight into diving into the warp.
I think that was what we decided to do anyway. Was
You know what? 3 months ago, who knows? My notes had basically no real notes here for the acquisition rolls section, so I was like, I'm just gonna gloss right over it. Let's see. It is time to hit the warp. Divining the auguries. This is for the navigator to make a roll, which is me.
don't forget we bought all that neat stuff for the navigator.
What neat stuff was that as a reminder?
Let me pull up my item table. It was 2 things.
Because I may or may not have put them on.
That's why I'm
sheet.
pulling up my item table. Hold on. Got to remember what folder that's
Oh
in.
yes, Best Craft Navis Prima, something, which is plus 20 navigation warp. Let me add that to my notes up here. Navigation 52 is now.
Well, that's right. It was. I forgot. I put that in a document.
Uh-oh. So 52. Okay. I do have that.
There was also.
Go ahead.
There was also the holographic calculator thing.
I don't know what that is. Or that might actually be the.
No.
That might be the no.
I mean, might is a word. Does imply I'm not 100% sure.
I'm having to log into an account. Hold on.
Oh god. Now he's gonna have to wait for the email to reset his password and everything. Alright, well, I am currently sitting at a 72% chance of success with this next roll, so I'm gonna go ahead and make it now. Actually, let me check my notes, make sure I don't have any additional modifiers. Let's see. Challenging Cynition. Oh, it's a Cynitions test with a plus 20 for detailed charts recently acquired.
Which we did get.
Yes, we did. That's why I had that specifically in my notes. So Cynitions with a plus 20. So it's going to be 69% chance. Nice. Roll that.
There was one item that I got and one item that Jace got. There was the
66. That's good.
mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 66 is good.
There was the Navis Primer and I think it was the Astrid Definitus Almanac. It might have been the Calculus Array.
I don't have either of those written down anywhere.
They should
Which
be in the
doesn't mean
primary.
it was not acquired. It's just I don't have those written down anywhere.
The
I have the Navis
Astro
Primer.
whatever thing sounds vaguely familiar. The calculus array does not.
I'm looking up the descriptions. Give me a second in the PDF.
while he's doing that, can I get one of y'all to roll? I actually need to get a second. 2-1, I think is what it said. All right. And then I need to look on here. Next, have the players roll 1d10 on table 2-1. I'm not going to tell you what that means, but just one person roll 1d10, please.
1d10. I can do that.
So the Almanac Astrae Divinitus is, I believe, what it was.
Can you do a?
I have one of those.
That's what I was thinking. I got the one, and Jace got the other.
Oh, okay.
So the Almanac Astrae Divinitus is it's a clicking arrangement of spheres and hololithic projections that form a catalog of sorts, which is of use to those that make their way between the stars. It provides a +10 bonus to navigation, pilot, scholastic lore astromancy, or trade astrographer.
So not
That one's more for the
germane
pilot.
to the Psyniscience, but that'll be good to know for later.
Yeah, that sounds like it's
Yeah,
a
well,
+10 for the pilot to make piloting rolls while.
It's a +10 for the +10 for navigation is the important part off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, here I am rolling the 1d10. I have come up with a 4.
Okay, you guys remember the dice pads, right?
Oh, right.
Forgot about that. I mean, I'll take the 4. It's fine. It actually works in your favor.
I didn't forget about him.
I see it now. It is strangely right next to the dice I rolled.
There's one at every position on the table.
I thought that was a. Oh, that is a D10, I guess.
Anywho.
Yeah.
We got the 4.
Oops, I need. Okay, next. Roll 2D. Roll on that table. So let me get this up. Do I need to roll on that table? I've already. Hold on. Sorry for the viewers. It's been a little while since we danced with the warp, and we have to remember how to do it.
The dance of death.
Because I think I have 2. Oh. Okay. Rolls on 2-1. And then, let's see.
It looks like you got a. Did you get a clearer version of the map?
Pardon me.
Are you talking about on the table?
Uh-huh.
This is just the Koronus Expanse. The other image I usually had up was a combination of this with the Calixis sector.
Yeah. The combo map was a little bit more involved.
It was, and this is a little bit more. With this one being a little bit more focused, you could see a little bit better where you are and whatnot. Okay, unless my notes specifically say something crazy, I'm gonna skip this particular test because. Oh, this. What? Sorry, guys. I'm confusing myself here. So. No, I think we're fine. Just leave it the way it is. And then, skip that. All right. Warding of the Ill Tidings, or Warding of Ill Tidings. House Van Bree's pre-warp rituals and traditions must be observed at the discretion of the Lord Commander. Or excuse me, I keep saying Lord Commander. I mean Lord Captain. So, Lord Captain, if you would, I believe there was a ritual involving taking a wee bit of coin from every person on board and melting it into golden discs that are later affixed to the hull at the end of the journey. Or something like that.
Gold skulls.
Yes. But please, describe for us this tradition, and then there's a roll that gets to be made.
Well, a tithe is collected from the members of the crew able to pay. Obviously, we're not going to the lower decks and shaking
Poor,
coins out
poor
of.
7-year-old Timmy down on deck 42C/5 is not
Hey,
going to
look,
be able to give up his
Timmy
2
knew
shillings.
what he was getting into.
But Timmy was born on and will live on and later die on this ship, never knowing anything more than pushing a single lever.
Now, depending on the
Oh,
economic
you're forgetting the broom. He pushes the broom as well.
That's only for
Oh,
corrective
yeah.
training when he fails to push the lever at the appointed times. Sorry, Rev, go ahead.
So we collect the tithes
Yes.
from the appropriate members of the ship, and we it's melted down, formed into a somewhat of a traditional imperial human skull, with the appropriate symbolage.
Yes, of course, of course.
It is dedicated to the Emperor and our safe journey through the warp, and the bridge chapel. And at the conclusion of the successful navigation, it is affixed to the hull alongside and in order of the additional skulls that are there.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a 1D100 roll versus the crew morale. The crew morale is currently 99.
I was just fiddling and clicking with the percentage roller. How do I do that?
If you mouse over where it says roll percentage, you'll get the little red button pop up, and then you can click it. And then that's all you have to do, because it will.
It's on the side. It's not on the top
Yeah,
down.
and that's all you have to do. Let the script run.
I was
and then
I was looking at it top down.
Yep. All right, 29. No issues there. Let's see. Let me review my notes really quick just to make sure. Let's see. We have a success, so therefore, no dark susurrations of an ill omen echoing throughout the ship of any sort.
Darn.
No, that's a good thing. Now I need everybody to make a willpower test as the ship translates into the warp. So, Brigadio, plus 20. Reinhardt, plus 30. Jace, plus 30. Icarus, plus 20. If I need to repeat those, that's fine. This is in addition to any drugs you might be taking to reduce your stress or whatever. Oh my!
You might want to fate that.
You could definitely fake
I'm gonna fate point that.
that. So for those that didn't see that, Jace just rolled a 96 and faded himself into a 51. What's your willpower?
Much better.
With your plus 30?
80.
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. All right, who's next?
I'm doing it.
Reinhardt, 76. I feel like that's about to be another fate point being used.
41 plus 30 would be a 71, so that'd be a fail.
Yeah. Fate point?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it could be that or eating cactuses for the next 6 months.
That's true. I don't want cactus eye. Hey, look, that's much better.
Yes, that was a success. All right, who's next?
Oh,
Alterios from the plus 20. What's your willpower base?
32. So I'm gonna spend a fate point to
bump it to 62.
Where did Alterios roll?
He hasn't rolled yet.
Okay.
No,
I thought you said it was 20.
I'm pre-spending a fate point to make it easier.
Yep. So that'll be a plus 30 total. I already forgot the number. I think it was 62 was the final.
Yes.
Just click it. There you go.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay.
I missed it by 3 points. Looks like that's another fate point getting ready to be used. I mean, it's up to you. You can eat cactus or whatever other weird malady comes up. If you spend another fate point, you will still have the full 62 instead of 52.
I know, but knowing me, I'm just gonna roll higher. I'll take it. 65 isn't bad.
Yeah, that's fair. You'll end up with a plus 0 on the next roll, but we'll get to that in a second. I believe Brogadillo is next.
And you said I'm a plus 30 or?
Plus 30, excuse me, plus 20, plus any other modifiers you want to add that, like if you found that one drug that gives you a plus 10.
No, I was trying to improve the navigation overall roll, so I bought the thing.
Yep.
So I think I will increase mine by 10 to start with.
All right, you're up to a plus 30. That is 73. I feel like that's a fail.
So, yeah, 63 is actually my.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll a second. I'm not gonna settle for a.
64. Well, so that's 2 people. All right. Brogadil and Icarus. I need you guys to roll another. Let me double check. 2-5. Yep. This is a 1d100 plus 10 for each degree of failure. You guys both missed it by literally points, so it's just going to be a 1d100.
You want to go first, Roy, or you want me to?
I will.
82 for Rev is the horror. The horror. The character experiences visions that reveal the true horror of reality. This creeps up on him gradually. He gains 2 insanity points immediately, plus 1 point for each of 30 days in the warp.
I forget how long this jump's supposed to take.
I haven't told you how long this jump is going to be. It's not a
Okay.
pleasant number right now, but I won't tell you what that number is yet. Because I'm going to tell you one number, and then when you do come out, it may or may not be a different number.
1 million years crusade!
Yeah, you arrived 1 million years before your birth. 31. Phobia. The character suffers from a severe phobia, and whenever he scores a 9 on any die he rolls, he believes that he sees the object of his phobia until the vessel leaves the warp. So let's go see 297 of the core book. Let's see.
It'd be really funny if Acheron was just afraid of paper.
That would be
Why
pretty
would
funny.
you use that? We have data slates!
That would be funny. Where is the phobia? Let's see. That's corruption. Scene. Getting mental disorders. Here. Hold on. Did I read that wrong? This is page 297 of the Rogue Trader core rulebook. I'm on. Oh, phobia. Serious minor. Okay. The character has a deep dislike and fear for a particular thing or circumstance. A phobic character must succeed on a willpower test to interact with the focus of his phobia. Enforced or gratuitous exposure to the focus of his exposure may incur fear tests. Examples of this disorder are fear of the dead, fear of insects. You know what? You're going to have, for this journey, a fear. I really almost want to make it something mechanical related because you'll be constantly exposed to it, but I don't want to be that much of a dick. So, like, on one hand, I want to be, and on the other hand, I'm like, I know I shouldn't be. So, you get a fear of rodents.
Fear what?
Rodents. Small furry animals.
Rodentia. Ratus.
Yeah. Anything relating to rats, hamsters, guinea pigs, basically hand-sized fur ball creature vermin.
So no listening to that one Eminem song. Got it.
I don't even know which one that is.
They want to chew on my wires.
Yeah.
Despite all your rage, do you still feel like a rat in a cage?
He's about to. Okay, that takes care of that step. Now we have, let's see, locating the Astronomicon. Roll 1d10 before the next step because you're leaving from Footfall. Somebody roll 1d10 for me, please. This is a very specific situational roll. It's only because you're leaving Footfall. All right. On a roll of not that number, which is what you have, the Astronomicon is not obscured because of the influence of the Cauldron and other Warp Storm activities. So now the navigator makes a routine plus 20 Cynicians test. So that's going to be, let's see, character sheet. Cynicians plus 20 is going to be a 69. Nice. That is 45. We're good there. Oops. Let's see. If he fails, he cannot find the Astronomicon, blah, blah, blah. Test may be attempted again. Good. Steering the vessel, warp encounters. Okay. It is at this point that the navigator comes across the ship's PA and says, expected duration of journey, 180 days. Somebody want to do 180 days divided by 5? I'm sure it's a ridiculously high number.
That would be.
It's like not quite. It's actually going to be more than 20
36.
days. It's going to be like
I thought we
30.
were taking a 30-day jump. What the heck?
My notes say 90-day base, and there was a modifier that got added.
I think that's 36. Let me actually put it into a calculator so I'm not telling you bullshit. Yeah, it's 36.
Tools calculator.
Yeah, 36.
If you give me that many insanity points right now, I'm just gonna say I'm out, Omar. I'm at like.
Well, no, you get
That's
one for every
stupid.
30 days. So you took 2, you're going to get 6 more by the end of the journey. However, I believe... let's see. If an all's well result is determined when checking for warp travel encounters, the effects can be negated with another challenging +0 willpower test, including the modifiers you guys have already used. So basically, over the next 36 was the number?
Yeah.
So over the next 36 attempts, anytime an all's well result is determined, you have a chance to re-roll your failed willpower test to come out with a clear, I'm not dealing with my fear of rats or the horrors for the rest of the journey. All right. I feel like I
The
need
horrors, Duke. The horrors.
What do you... Oh, my kid is...
No, Billy, we're traveling for the horrors.
Okay. Oops. Steering the vessel. First, navigator makes a challenging navigation warp test. Plus any modifiers, plus 10 from the previous roll. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to be adjusting the duration now. So, give me just a second. The base journey is 90 days. It's up to 180. It's going to be adjusted further. So give me a second. Challenging, +0, +10 for navigation warp. +30 navigation because of the Navis primer. That's going to put me at 82.
92 with the almanac.
Woo! She's going to spend a fate point and get something much lower than that, hopefully. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that's 9 degrees of success. Let me see what my notes say here. Let's see. The degree of success, failure. Table 2-4. Nope, wrong one. Nope, wrong one again.
Did you hear me?
Yes, we have 9 degrees of success based on the 92. Let's see, 2-4.
Oh, okay.
3+ degrees of success. We are at a totally different number. I have to do some more math now. So
We arrived before we left.
that would be hilarious, but no. 45 days in the warp. So, Rev, you're only going to pick up 1 more point of insanity unless you clear it.
Fine.
All right, let me update notes really quick here. Let's see. Journey, 90 days, bumped to 80, navigation, warp success, brings it down to 45 days. Expected is okay. All right. With 45 days in the warp, we have 9. That's what I'm looking for here. 9 encounters to test for. We have this. I'm gonna put this like in the middle here, just for shits and giggles. So Control C and then Control V. 3, 4, 6. Oh, get back here. I'm fucking up my math so hard. Okay. Copy and paste that. There. Now we have 9. Okay. Let's see. For each 5-day stretch or portion thereof, there's a chance for warp encounters. Blah, 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 blah. With the warp span hole, we get to make 2 rolls. Navigator can attempt to avoid the encounter by rolling to detect it. Navigator makes an ordinary +10 Psyniscience. So that's going to be a 59. I'm going to double check that number really quick. Omniscience is 49, so yeah, 59. Let's see. On failing to test encounter spotted, but not in time to prepare. If failing by 2 or more degrees, Navigator is totally unaware until it's too late. So, let's look and see what our first encounter is. This is
I
where
forget,
things...
how many fate points does our navigator have? It's not that many, is it? It's like 3?
3 or 4. I can double check. She has... Oh, she has 2. Well, she has 1. She has 1 now.
Because I remember we were feeding her fate points to keep her from failing stuff.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. I
We
totally
totally
forgot
were.
about that. I thought she had more
Also,
than that. Go ahead.
we asked you if you wanted to level her up a little bit.
I have spent some of her experience, and that's why her rolls are slightly better, as well as the
Yay!
modifiers that you guys have from equipment that you've gotten her. So there has been a concerted effort to make her at least less likely to kill everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay.
Professionally not killing other people.
Yes. So with that,
Because professionally killing people is my job.
yes, exactly, exactly. All right, one of you give me a D100, and one other of you give me another D100, and then we will determine which of these is
First.
the most likely to survive. Go ahead, Warner.
Alterios, you go second. You've done better than me tonight.
Well, we could have
44.
All right, 44 is stasis, a physical encounter. We'll talk about what that means in a second. Let's see what the second roll is.
Physicality.
we could have
I haven't rolled below 50 tonight, but okay.
I forget your character's name. Kami do it.
Oh, Jace? There's a 9. That might not be.
well.
Oh, 9 is all's well, which is a chance for those that failed their willpower rolls to make another roll to come out of it.
So I've already spent the +10. So I'm basically rolling on a 43.
Your willpower
43.
plus 20.
Does the +2? You said with additional bonuses. So I'm asking, does that +10 that I spent earlier for my willpower still count?
It came from a fate point, didn't it?
Yes.
Not without spending another fate point on this roll.
Okay.
This is like the equivalent of 5 days later, basically.
So 53.
Yeah. That looks like a success for
See, you're wrong,
Brogadillo.
dude.
Look
And
at
now,
that.
yeah,
Glorious.
and the next roll he's gonna have is gonna be like 98.
That'd be fun.
No.
Alterios,
99.
would you like to attempt to break your fear of rats?
The warp is a fickle mistress, but sure.
That it is. You also succeed with, ironically, the same number that Rev just rolled.
Who says 13's an unlucky number?
Yeah, lucky 13.
That's one warp encounter out. Go ahead and give me a couple more D100s. Let's see. 1, 2,
Alterios.
6.
Alterios and Jace is this round.
Somebody.
I'll do it. I'll go.
Here, no, Jason's
second.
got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
65. Warp Storm, a physical encounter. Second option. Thanks to your Warpsbane Hull. Are you
All
gonna roll
trios, please.
it?
Okay.
Red's
Okay.
scared to roll any dice right now.
No, I said let's let
Yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Alterios do it this round, and everybody was just sitting there like, Alterios,
30.
please roll.
Delusion Mirage, a psychic encounter. So the first option that came up was a Warp Storm. If the navigator does not avoid this encounter, the vessel is pounded by a Warp Storm. If the ship's Geller field is fully operational, the GM rolls 1d10 twice on the critical hits table and chooses the lowest result. If the Geller field is damaged, he rolls once, and if it's not operational, I roll once and adds +2 to the result. So
No.
okay, so that's that one. The other one was 30, which is Delusion Mirage. If this encounter manifests aboard a vessel, each explorer and relevant NPC, which includes your navigator, your psyker, and your seneschal, must make a challenging +0 willpower test, or be afflicted with a warp hallucination. If the Geller field is fully operational, each character gets a +30 bonus. If it's offline, which it is not, doesn't matter. Now, both of these encounters, of course, are if the navigator is not able to bypass them somehow.
Oh, I
But-
thought the navigation only applied to the warp storm.
The navigator. Oh, let me double check that. I believe I can avoid the psychic one as well. Yeah, for warp encounters, a navigator can attempt to avoid the encounter by rolling to detect it.
Well, the first encounter literally said if the had a note about navigation. The second one didn't. That's why I was confused.
That's also a fair point. Let me look at these really quick. So, like the psychic.
And I'm like, if our navigator only has a chance to avoid one of them, let's go with the one we have a chance to avoid entirely.
Well, okay. So the way this works is avoiding a physical encounter is a matter of whether or not the navigator can detect it in time, and then between the navigator and the pilot maneuvering the ship around it. If it's a psychic encounter, it's a matter of whether or not the navigator can, in one way to look at it, reinforce the Geller fields with his own or her own psyker power from being a navigator and keep it from manifesting.
Okay.
Does that make sense the way I explained it?
So we've avoided warp storms before. It's my line of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You haven't had to endure a
To the
psychic
group.
one yet.
I mean, I could make the call as my character, but like, I'd rather the group decide as a whole.
Sure.
What's the choice exactly?
Warp storm
Like we
or
can avoid the
manifesting. Go
psychic.
ahead.
It sounds like we can avoid the psychic one with one roll, whereas the warp storm would take 2 rolls.
In a watered down version, yes, there's a couple extra rolls in there, but it's the deciding whether or not you get hit with it is basically 1 or 2 rolls.
We haven't gotten the psychic thing before, and a psychic shit always brings demons, so
I will point out the psychic one is almost a repeat of the willpower roll you make when you first enter the warp. This one it's just a little bit more.
Except without the bonuses.
Yes, you get a bonus if the Geller field is up, which it is obviously up. Otherwise, you guys would already be cooking your eyeballs.
Yay.
And it's a +30 bonus.
I'm good
The
with a
Geller field-
+30 bonus.
The Geller field gives us a +30 bonus on that.
It's either 30 or 20. Let me double check, make sure I read it right. If the Geller field is fully operational, +30 bonus.
There we
Okay.
go.
So, are we going after the psychic encounter?
Why not?
Okay.
It seems like that's the way the group wants to go.
Avoiding psychic encounters. This is going to be somewhat tricky because Anastasia is obviously an NPC, but what I have determined is that one player rolls a flat 1d100 to determine which test she has to complete. As the rules are written, the navigator basically goes into like a contest of wills almost. What this does is it breaks the potential types of contests of wills down to a couple of different roles that could be taken. And it's determined randomly when you guys make this roll right here. So 32 is a contest of strength. I need another 1d100 roll to determine what type of test of strength that she has to roll.
Warner, why don't you do it? You haven't rolled it.
Ooh, way to
I'm
throw
sorry.
me.
A contest of wills is now a contest of strength.
It's
Sometimes this game makes no sense.
well, keep in mind I've modified this for the fact that Anastasia, your navigator, is an NPC and not a player character.
Okay. Behold the roll of 33.
33. That's a weapon skill test for her.
What?
So,
Can I make that weapon skill test?
no, it
instead
has
of
to be her making the weapon skill test, and it's a challenging one. As before,
That doesn't make any sense.
so
It really doesn't.
let me explain. So
I'm
what
gonna
is
make
happening?
a weapons roll.
Why
to
isn't she
fight
just-
the
well, I
psychic
hear you,
nature?
I hear
of
you,
this?
but let me
a
explain.
contested-
Let me
I can see
explain.
a contested roll, but it would be your psychic strength.
Yes, I hear you, but let me explain. The rules as written for a navigator player character would be that player character would be going through some sort of challenge, narratively role-playing with a little bit of dice rolling and whatnot to figure out how to overcome this, and it would be in a psychic duel in a way. In this format, because she's an NPC, what she is doing is she is having this psychic battle, and in this particular psychic battle, in order to defeat whatever the warp manifestation bullshit is, she has to make a successful weapon skill roll.
No, we just have to make one roll.
And if she passes this roll, you guys avoid the encounter.
I was gonna say those other rolls were just table rolls. Like, you can't pass or fail those.
Yeah, those were to determine which roll she has to make in order to avoid.
That
I mean,
makes
the
random the thing that a player would say, what are my best chances of succeeding this? I think I should do it this way.
Yeah, it throws all that out the window.
Well,
And then
I mean,
says,
but that's
"Hey."
Well,
also
the problem is
because
that
it's
we
a
don't
player
have a
character
navigator
versus
as
an
a player.
NPC doing it.
Yeah, we don't have a navigator as a player. If
So
it
we
was
have a random
navigator, we could-
chance to get fucked on how you built an NPC.
I
This
mean,
is going into my feedback for later.
That's fine. Absolutely. Roast me. I will
mean,
point out that
I
I
mean, I
built her
guess
as a
somebody should
player
have been able
character
to
just
fly
to be
the
played
ship,
by the
right?
GM. That's the only difference.
Then player is the GM.
Well,
Yeah,
throw this at us.
don't have us. I'm sure that Anastasia's player sheet does not have a great weapon skill because she's a fucking navigator.
she has a 33.
Yeah,
It's not a bad
that's-
number.
that's
It's not a great number. I will
that
admit
is-
that. And that's why I'm
that
asking
is
for
a
your
2/3 chance to fucking fail.
and that's why I am once again asking for a fate point.
I was gonna say we can feed her fate points, guys. Like,
I'm gonna do it. I'll feed her the freaking.
He's gonna feed him a fate point and then cuss
Like-
her the fuck out later.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I get it. I get it.
If
but like, this
if
is, like,
demons show up on the ship, she's getting shot, and the Lord Captain is finding a new fucking navigator.
oh man, he's just gonna have to re-roll another fucking navigator. And we're just gonna have another craptastic sheet. Cool, have less experience.
Alright, I will.
Reinhardt
You know what?
doesn't
I
have
will.
Any
In the
demons showing up on the ship. No,
I will put.
not happening.
I will give her a plus 20 on these sorts of skills where they're. What's the word I want to use? They're not the normal.
Subpar
Well, yeah, they're not the normal
navigator.
Yeah, navigator type skills. So if it was a navigator skill, she'd have to roll with that. But because this is a skill that she obviously would never develop, and this is all supposed to be taking place inside her head, yeah, that's a. So I need a 53. Is she getting a fate point for a 63?
Yes.
Sure, why
I'm
not?
not saying you have to, but
Yes, she is
Well,
getting
we
the
have
fate
to.
point.
okay. So I'm rolling against a 63. Let me put this on the stream so people can see this roll.
What are the purple balls?
Those are the warp encounters.
Balls,
Ah.
balls, balls, balls,
Oh,
balls of
let's see.
steel.
Is that the one I want?
Balls
Stand
of
by,
steel.
viewers, because I may have just blacked the screen for no reason. That works almost. Let's keep it. Okay, there we go. All right. So 63 is what I need. and she gets a 24.
Hey,
So we have
that actually
avoided.
would have succeeded. On
That would have actually, yeah, that would have succeeded on her normal, no bullshit. So yeah, tell me again that my system's fucked up, Warner. No, it's okay. You
It's
absolutely
messed
can.
up.
It's fine. It's fine. Let me just chuck that one off into the warp as well.
Is it too late
Yes.
for me to ask about Imperial Public Transit?
I mean, it's your ship. It would probably be bad form.
have Lord Captain riding
I was gonna
a
say, I'm
space
not
Riding
sure
a-
if Imperial Public
riding a
Transit
space
actually
taxi.
comes out here in the sector.
No,
Alright.
not a taxi. He said public transportation.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna charter a space bus. I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey, maybe at
No,
Magoros.
no, you can't charter
I
it.
mean, in that
Charter
case, you still
buses
have an.
aren't public transport.
I was gonna say, if like you'd still be having an
They are
NPC do it.
they are to a rogue trader.
All right, I need 2 more warp travel encounters, please.
Once
We
throw
need
these
more bureaucratic mismanagement on this space bus.
I'll roll this one.
Certainly a way to look at it, yes. 20. That is all's well.
They only have caviar from 3 planets on this space bus.
And it's only
Wait, they
served
have
from 2 to
caviar on a
2:15.
space bus?
It's served only on Fridays.
Well, you talked about charter buses. So
I'll re-roll my spider thing.
You what?
some of the
what they're-
actual
No, you don't need to.
What it actually
Curious,
is,
you
is
already,
it's like
you already
Did I succeed that one? I
yeah,
can't
you
even
succeeded.
remember. Okay.
Everybody's good now. Also, because the first of the 2 rolls is all's well, I'm not going to make the second roll necessary unless you guys feel like taking a chance.
nope.
No, fuck the warp. I don't blame you. Tuck that ball off into the void and go ahead and give me 2 more rolls, please. As you guys have now made 15
I think Warner,
days in the
you
warp.
and I are up.
Okay.
Also, by the way, really quick,
Just hasn't played it.
if anybody wants a scene, we absolutely can do a scene. Like,
I
I
can't
don't
think
know,
of one.
the
Like,
arch militant cussing out the navigator.
I think we just had a scene.
This
But
is true.
I gotta say, I didn't build a Karas for social stuff.
Okay. 89 is a
89.
warp rift. If the navigator does not circumvent this physical encounter, the vessel slews into a nebula of unreality for 1d10 days. And each day the ship is within that nebula, the GM rolls on a warp incursion.
Fuck no.
All right, give me another
Warner.
roll. I believe
think-
Warner
I
was doing
think
the other one.
It's been a while since Darius has made one.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
come on,
fine.
Chase.
something other than a warp rift, please.
Warp Rift and Warp Rift. Which Warp Rift would you like?
I want all the warp risks. Give me both of them.
78. Let's
So it's
see.
not a warp rip.
Well, this
it
is
may not
also
be
a
any
physical.
better.
This is also a physical encounter. Etheric Wreath. I don't know.
Wreath?
Etheric Wreath. Like
Reef.
Yeah,
Oh,
coral
I thought
reef.
you said
Coral
reef.
reef.
Coral
I thought you
reef,
said-
but in the warp. So
I thought you said wreath like you put on your head when you went
no,
out.
no. We're not
It's
calling
not
up
a
Mr.
laurel crown.
We're not calling up Reboot Golemon because of his fashion sense here.
Is that what he's wearing?
Gorilla
Is he wearing-
Man.
Is he wearing an etheric wreath?
No, well, it's something on his head. Anyway, if the navigator cannot prevent this encounter, the vessel's hull screeches against a jagged fragment of false reality and takes 1d10 plus 2 damage, ignoring void shields. If the Geller
Ouch.
field is damaged, the ship suffers 2d10 plus 3. And if it's not, well, none of that matters. All right, so which of these 2 horrific physical encounters would you like to attempt to avoid?
I hate to say it, but I think the warp roof.
Where you may
I'd-
spend up to 10 days fighting off warp incursions?
No. No. Not 10 rolls of warp incursions if we fail 1 roll. F that
Okay.
noise.
So just the
Jack
ship
the
gets damaged.
ship up if we fail the roll.
Not my ship. You all can die, but don't hurt my ship.
I mean, that would be very in character.
I can see Brigadillo being like, I don't care what happens to you, don't you fuck up my paint job on the ship. That skull's making it out there,
The
damn
skulls, no.
it! I like how we both thought of the skulls right away. Alright, I guess we're going after the Etheric Wreath.
That's
Alright.
my vote.
So, avoiding
That-
physical encounters. challenging.
Is there anyone who'd rather do the warp storm like me?
You mean the rift?
Yes.
The potential
Speak-
10 days
speak-
of insanity?
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, I guess I'm out of those.
Standing alone.
Real quick, speaking of insanity, how
it
many
would be
insanity
kind of
points does
funny,
Brigadillo have?
But no one seems to want to do that.
How many what?
How many insanity points does Brigadillo have? Because I believe every time you make a 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever, you have to make a roll.
Yeah, I have 10.
You have 10 now?
I just hit 10, yeah.
All right, we will deal with that first. Let me double check the rules for insanity. Let's see. Going insane.
I need to go I need to check the toaster oven. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you gotta check something, all right. All right. In
He's
Rogue
not
Trader,
even
these
the tech
dangers are
priest.
represented by
Why is he
insanity
checking
points.
the toaster?
I don't know. He's having a stroke, I think. Insanity points represent the strain put on the character's mind by his experiences. More insanity points the character has, more fragile his mind. Cumulative effects, gaining insanity points divided into traumas. Degrees of madness, mental trauma. Let's see. Hold on, let me double check this. Make sure I'm reading this right. Let's see. Mental trauma represents each time the character gains 10 insanity points, he must make a trauma test. This is a willpower test modified in difficulty by how many insanity points the character has accrued in total. If the test is passed, the character manages to cope with his experience without extra ill effect. If it's failed, roll 1d100, adding 10 for every degree of failure, and compare the result to the table of mental traumas. So, willpower test, no modifier.
What are you talking about? No modifier. It says difficulty modified. I should be getting some kind of bonus because I'm only going to have 10.
You have. Hold on. No, you're right. You're right, actually. You have 10, so you have a plus 10 modifier to your willpower.
Okay. And I think to avoid having a permanent trauma, I'm going to throw one of my other willpower points behind there.
Your fate points. So what's your willpower plus 20 then?
Yeah, that would be the 10 of the check plus the 10 I'm throwing on there. So that would bring it up to 53.
All right, let's go. Let's see what you got.
Wait a minute.
You succeeded. Are you sure you want to continue that statement?
I am, because I have a perk.
Yes. You have
not
something.
Affected by normal traumas.
All right. Which one is it, and what does it say?
Oh, jaded?
Yes.
That sounds right, actually. But what is it? What's the descriptor for it?
That's what I'm trying to pull up.
Let's see. I'm also digging in later here. Let's see.
For some reason,
it's under like talents or something, isn't it?
Yes.
Descriptions 94.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Let's see. Jaded, willpower 30. Never gain insanity points from ordinary horrors. Well, going into the warp, and that is not. I wouldn't consider that an ordinary horror. Let me see what the full descriptor says.
I would say basic warp travel is pretty ordinary for the Warhammer 40K.
The explorer's wide travels have shown both wonders and horrors beyond the ken of most. The galaxy has thrown its worst at him, and he is yet to flinch. Outrageous events, from death's horrific visage to Xenos abominations, will not cause insanity points or fear tests. Terrors of the warp still affect the character normally.
Okay.
I guess so those last couple of insanity points you picked up are actually not there. You actually need something a bit more potent than an average jaunt into the warp. Like an actual demon of the warp coming at you or something.
So I'm
like
still
that.
sitting at 8 then.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I do apologize for all of that extra bullshit.
When I do get up to 10, which will happen,
yeah,
I'm sure, I want an automatic pass for this roll. Thank you.
I will consider it if you can remember then. Avoiding.
You think I would forget?
Encounters. I don't know. Listen, let me figure out how to avoid this thing
now.
Yeah, that's fine. By all means. Navigator makes a challenging navigation warp test. I have plus, I believe, 30 from various things. That's going to take her up to, I'm going to say 69 because it's funny, but I don't think that's the actual number. Let me double check.
Is that where the thing that Jace has helps?
62. Yeah, well, the 62 from that and the navigation prima thingy that she has,
Woot.
I'm currently sitting at a 62% chance of success. I'm offering to receive a fate point. I don't need it, but I leave it to the good of the group. Plus, Jace may need one if I pass. So, currently sitting at 62. Am I rolling or am I waiting for a fate point?
62 is pretty good.
I am nearing the end of my fate points.
Okay.
62 is fine.
All right, rolling on a 62.
78.
44, success.
Yeah!
Yay.
Now we need the pilot to make a ordinary +10 pilot spacecraft test. He also gets that +10 from his little doodad abacus thing.
Woot.
So that's a +20 pilot spacecraft.
Doesn't he also get some other bonuses that he's added on from other things he's done?
He may. Jace, would you like to make your piloting roll now, please?
Ability.
I say from the bridge, steer well, pilot, and give him my bonus.
Ooh, there you go. There's an extra +10 right there, so that's +30.
Woot.
Okay, that puts me at 84.
Woo!
Hey, Rev, why weren't you doing that for what's her face?
Because he doesn't like what's her face. That's why.
Well, I also
that is
I
his
also
success.
I also don't want Omar going, hey, you've done that too many times.
It's also not for nothing. It's his Rogue Trader special ability. I don't care what he does with it. Let's get that warp encounter out of here.
Yeah!
All right, we have made it through that.
Screw that warp encounter in particular.
Yes. All right, give me 2 more 1d100 rolls to see what you
Behold, the first roll.
guys. 91.
An awful, awful roll that we will not be picking.
Temporal hole, a physical encounter. If the navigator cannot lead the vessel away from this encounter, the vessel is sucked from the warp and translated back into reality, leaving the warp possibly severely off course, and other things may or may not apply. But you will absolutely not end up where you meant to be.
No, severely
Well,
off time.
we were playing Rogue Trader, but now we're in the Horus Heresy.
You might be playing Warhammer Fantasy. Oh god, that would be hilarious. Ooh, I just had a campaign idea.
That's a different universe, by the way.
That's a
I
matter.
know,
That's
but,
a
like-
matter of debate, my friend.
No,
I
it's
was
not.
gonna
It's
say,
official.
like,
It's,
No,
it's
I am
official.
aware that officially it is not, but there are many people arguing that call. At any rate, I need somebody else to make a 1d100 roll, please. That would be funny. Here, make some Rogue Trader characters for me, will you? 6 sessions later, and we're coming out, and it's Age of Sigmar. What?
Age of Sigmar.
Well, it'd be
Worse
Warhammer.
yet, you
It'd be Warhammer
show
Fantasy.
up during the war in heaven.
Look, man. if we got if we gotta stick to the lore on it being different universes, then we also have to stick to the universe where fucking chaos wins.
Illy. Illy.
Which
Alright, I need another
universe?
D100, please.
Um,
Or I can
and
roll
Age
them.
of- Age of
the
Sigmar
reason,
isn't canon. It never happened.
GW would beg to differ on that one.
Alright, come on, give me a die roll, damn it.
I got it. I pressed button.
The button. Much better.
39. Psychic Predators. This is a psychic
God damn it.
encounter. If this encounter manifests aboard the ship, roll once on the warp incursion and apply the effect. Reduce the result by 30 if the ship's Geller field is fully functional to a minimum of 1.
Good.
I don't know. Which one are we going to avoid here?
I say I want to travel. I want to time travel.
Jesus, why is Rev intentionally going for the more chaotic result?
Okay, cool. I mean, if you want to add to this fucking encounters table, then yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's up to you guys, but like, I kind of want to ruin Omar's story a little bit.
What did I ever do to you, Rev?
See, I want that story where we travel back like 5 years, and I'm trying to line things up in order to save my mother from ever dying.
We're not getting that story though. What are we going
No,
with?
you wind up in the dark age of technology with men of iron on board your ship.
Fucking
Oh God, the Terminators!
Hashin hit it fucking head on nail. Why is Rev trying to fuck with my story? It's Rev. All right, are we seriously going to attempt to avoid a physical encounter, or do we go to attempt to avoid the psychic encounter?
My vote's for psychic.
Okay, 1 for psychic and apparently 2 for physical. Warner, are you gonna tie it up and make the GM make the call?
I'm going to abstain because I
Oh.
don't want either of them.
In that case, the psychic encounter wins. Give me a flat 100, please. See what kind of die roll your navigator gets to make and avoid this encounter.
Hey, yeah.
I blame Rev.
That is a 10,
I voted for the temporal thing. That's
Which
the
is-
physical.
which is... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
No. I'm saying you called it. We're going for the psychic. You've already said it. GM's word.
You said you... No, it was 2 votes for the physical and 1 for the psychic.
That's not what you said a minute ago, and then you said, so we're rolling on psychic. Now, are we or aren't we?
I mean, listen, I've been wrong before. Don't act like I've never been wrong before.
This is the dumbest thing ever.
All I know is
We
my
know
GM's
what the
going back on
intent
what he
was.
says.
We know what the intent was.
We're doing the physical one because I fucking read it wrong, okay?
Yes, do the physical.
That's what you want anyway, Rev. Shut up.
Yeah, really, shut up, Rev.
He's trying to give you your way. Shut your
I
pie hole.
don't want my way. I want chaos.
We know you want chaos, you son of a bitch. All right, navigation warp is going to be 82 with my stuff.
Well, that's a 10 that he rolled.
And I rolled a 57. Success. So now we need
Yay.
Jace to make his, I believe it was a plus 20 before Rev gave the plus 10, which he can also give the plus 10 again if he chooses.
Aim for 20 years ago.
Wow! I think that just countermanded his own plus 10 modus order.
No. Avoid that horror.
All right, Jace, you have a plus 30 to your pilot spacecraft roll here.
Pilot kill.
Shit, I can't even say it.
You're a leaf on the wind. Wait,
Just don't die with a bunch of rebarb sticking out of your chest, okay?
That wasn't rebar.
Well, it was pipes or something.
it was Reaver ship.
Yeah, it was definitely parts of other shit.
Should I spend a fate point on this?
You're sitting at like you're on a plus 30 at the moment, so
Yeah, that's an 84.
yeah,
Yes,
I think 84 is
Spend
fine.
the freaking fate point. I didn't see an 84. 84 is bad.
You really don't want to travel through time, do you?
I don't. Rev
Oh.
does.
No, Rev just wants chaos.
I also didn't want psychic predators because
Well, yeah, Psychic Predator sounds horrible. That looks like a success. So we can go ahead and take one of these
Yay.
little balls and throw them off into the void. All right, 2 more 1d100s to see what our next round of bullshittery is.
I'm
I do
rolling
believe
again.
I'm due for a roll.
Let's see if I can do even worse this time. Whee!
61. That is Warp Storm. I mean, at this point, Warp Storm seems pretty chill compared to the other options.
Come on, time travel. Let's go time travel.
71. Etheric Reef. Both are physical encounters.
I'm ambivalent at this point. Actually, warp storm. I don't like the idea of wrecking my ship. I mean, either
Well,
one's gonna
Warp
wreck my
Storm
ship.
hits your ship as well.
Yeah, but
In
Let's
fact,
avoid
Warp
the
Storm.
Warp
Well, so
Storm.
the Warp Storm hits critical hits. The Etheric Reef is physical damage to the hull, which could generate a critical hit if there's enough of it. But
let's just go for the warp storm and be done with it.
okay,
That's my vote.
All right, going
Everyone
against
else,
the
me.
physical, I'm rolling against an 82. That's
I'll be directing Jace to do better as well.
Yeah.
Actually, what's the navigator's roll for?
It was like 6, 7, 8
Holy
degrees of success.
Black.
So
You were rolling against an 80 what?
82.
So your 7 degrees of success, do those give Jace a bonus?
I'm about to GM give him an additional +10 because of how well. I haven't even been rolling. You know what I've totally forgot to do too for those physical encounters was checking to see if I actually detected them in time to get additional bonuses. So, for this one,
Normalises, you know.
We definitely
yeah, I
got 'em in
definitely, yeah,
time.
yeah. You know what? In fact, obviously, you know, I'm just gonna hand wave. You automatically avoid that one.
Woohoo!
I need 2 more rolls, please.
Screwy stuff avoided.
We have 15 days left in the warp.
Yeah.
I think you missed.
Nice.
It's where you're trying to ninja push the button.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Time travel.
Hey!
Temporal hole. 97.
Woohoo!
Jesus Christ.
All right,
There it is.
Jace, what is our other option?
29 is Delusion Mirage, a psychic encounter.
All right. Based off how crazy the last attempt to avoid a psychic thing was, I say it's easier for us to avoid a physical.
You know, I'm not sure you're wrong.
I will roll against an 82 to avoid. Well, no, first let's do this right. Let's see if I can detect the hole in time space beforehand. So this is Cynician's +10, which is going to
What
be...
is your Sinentius score? Because I know what Jace's piloting score is.
Let me get there. It'll be a 59 to detect it.
Okay.
Before
is there any way that
Go ahead.
because I can get my +10, but it doesn't seem like it's lore accurate or like.
It wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense narratively to be like, hey, detect shit faster, better, more sooner.
Right. Like that's what I was gonna say. That
Yeah.
doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. But when it comes time to avoiding it, then you could add. But this is gonna be, god damn it. Cynician's 59. I need to make a 59 here.
Over.
And I succeed quite well, in fact.
Success.
So on passing, I can now make the attempt to avoid the encounter as normal. So this will be against a 82. That is a 50-something. 53.
Yay, 53.
And now
Avoided.
Jace against a 74 or 84, I think was his number.
So do I get a bonus from the Lord Captain?
No, I want to time. No, yes, you get a.
No, I want to time travel. Damn you! In fact, do it worse. -10.
Is there a way that I can? Yeah, can I -10? I give him bad directions.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's Elvis.
I'm backseat driving. I'm like, no. Take a left.
Your other left.
Hey, that was the exit we were supposed to take.
I said the 3rd star.
2nd star from the right and straight on to the morning, damn it.
93. You want to fate point that?
Yep.
All right. 81.
The fatiest
That's
of points. Holy
yeah,
balls.
0.3.
Well, no, it's against an 84 though.
Yeah,
it's against an 84.
Yep. Hey, it was just enough. Just enough.
Skin of the teeth.
10 days left in the warp. I need 2 more options here. You
All
guys
right.
have gotten really
Can
lucky,
you pull
by
my
the way.
sausage out of the thing? Toast while it came out?
Option.
Ooh,
Maybe the water what he wanted to.
Oh,
Behold
Hashin!
the
Hashin, you got it.
full-on
Somebody rolled
freaking
100. This is still the temporal hole, though. The time travel bullshit.
I do second roll. Hiya.
Yep. If you're looking for the oven mitts, they're here.
48. Stasis. If the navigator cannot guide the ship to evade this encounter, the ship becomes stuck in a warp rift before drifting free, adding 1d5 days to the journey's duration.
At this point,
That one is
The
actually the
D5
safer of the two
days?
options.
Isn't anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do that shit.
Time travel. Time travel.
All right, 59 or less to detect the problem. I failed horrifically. In fact, I failed enough that I don't get a chance to avoid. Let me see what it says. If failing by 2 or more degrees of failure, navigator is unaware of the damage or danger until it's too late. If she doesn't manage to steer the ship past the encounter, it immediately. So yeah, I basically get.
You get nothing.
Yeah, I get no bonus
So
or
does
anything.
somebody want to give her a fate point to re-roll that?
You receive no points. God have mercy on your soul.
Let's see.
I've only got like 2 left.
Or I'll give her a fate point.
All right, I'm gonna roll against a 59 a second time. That is 72 minus 59. That's like 16, 17, something like that.
It is not 2 degrees of
It is
failure.
not 2 degrees of failure, so that means I do get a chance to make this attempt. I just don't get any bonuses.
Simple failure is better than
Complex failure.
abject failure.
82. That is
Sheer-
17. That is a success by
Yeah.
a lot. Go ahead,
Excellent.
Jace. Make your 74 84 point roll.
I think we can just assume 84.
I assume Rev is going to give
As
him a
the
plus
Lord
10.
Captain whispers sweet nothings in his ear once more.
Yeah, trying to get him to go the wrong way.
Well, I need to hear it from Rev, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm giving it. I'm letting the dog out right now. Apologies.
Yep, there you go.
I'm giving her all she's got.
Uh-oh, 95.
I will spend another fate point.
Sounds like Jace is about to be out of fate points.
I hope there's not a combat
Look,
later.
There you go, success.
Yay.
Judging by the time, combat may be a thing. I don't know, we'll see. But we have our final warp encounter opportunity right now. 2 rolls, please.
final. Finale.
69, nice. Warp storm.
Really likes giving us that, doesn't it?
Old Faithful. That and the time hole.
Yeah, really. I'll make this
Did
roll.
someone say
since-
time hole?
I'll make this last roll as the GM. I just
We're about
don't
to
want-
get it.
37. That is Psychic Predators.
No.
All right. Are we
Time hole.
attempting to avoid the
Warp Storm.
The warp storm? All right. So 59 to see it in time and respond accordingly. That is a success. And then
Yay, we see it.
82 to
Plus 10 to Jace.
and then 84 for Jace. Oh, failure. Any fate points left for Jace?
What the hell?
I will
It's
give.
95.
The same exact
I-
failure I had before.
It
I was
is.
gonna say I give
Give me
Jace
a
a
fate
fate point
point.
so he can reroll.
Can we give other players a fate point?
I will allow it in this particular case because otherwise it's
Okay.
possible that the pilot and the navigator both burn through their fate points really fast.
Okay. Because I have 1 left, so I'll keep that in mind if we have any more
That is
navigating
a
things.
pretty good success right there. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have made it to the part where we figure out how to get out of the warp. So let me see what happens here. Leaving the warp, accuracy of re-entry. Let's see. Oh, well. Lord Captain, at your leisure, we can exit the warp.
Engage.
And let me just read this one last time to make sure I'm not fucking this up. Nope. Maguros is one of hundreds of systems visited, cataloged, and passed over by explorers of the Expanse. Since the time of Winterscale himself, it has remained mostly unexplored or unexploited. This is largely in part to the fact that there is little of immediate interest to rogue traders. From its sun-blasted worlds to its frozen reaches, there remains only a smattering of looted ruins and planets ill-suited for colonization. Maguros hides a valuable secret, the final resting place of the righteous path. The principal celestial bodies of the Mogoros system are the Flickering Eye. The Mogoros star is a flickering pulsar whose death throes bathe the system in hard radiation. Mogoros Minor, a sun-scorched world closest to the star and scoured clean of life by its fiery breath. Mogoros Prime, a dust-choked graveyard littered with the alien ruins of the Agarian Dominion and home to the gargantuan and arcane Star Mirror. Mogoros Segundus. I may have just given away a little too much, but whatever. Fuck it, it's too late. Mogoros Segundus, an icy jungle moon covered in frozen spore towers and cloaked in toxic fog. Once long ago settled by the Agarian Dominion, its forested depths still hide evidence of their ancient empire. And lastly, the Shard Halo, the vast asteroid field billions of kilometers in length scattered across the outer reaches of the system. You are currently seated roughly the edge of the system, like inside the Shard Halo, but several days from the nearest planet, which would be Mogoros Segundus.
Segundus.
Where would you like to go? Go ahead.
Remind me, where was it that we saw in particular? Was it in an asteroid field?
There was like a vision or something, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
The vision was of this system.
It was winter. She saw
But it
some
was
stuff.
it was a very specific part of this system. From the details you gave us.
Well, I think what it was, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of oh Jesus, I can't even speak. I want to say what the vision entailed was the flickering star, the dusty planet, the icy planet, and the frozen shards of the Shard Halo. Somewhere in this system, you don't have the specific location of the ship, but you do know it's somewhere in this system, and this system matches every description you've ever come across, no matter the method by which you've had that information. But it's matching the description you've had. Like, this checks out. Every fiber of your being is like, this is the right place.
Man the auger arrays. It's time to look for shit.
Yeah, it's time to scan. But I thought you had given a specific. It was in the asteroid belt or something, like we saw specifically what part of the system it was in, and that was one of the advantages that we had.
It's been so long, I don't really remember.
I honestly don't remember what I've told you. Obviously, I know where it is, but
I would hope the GM knows where it is.
No, the truth is you're not even in the right part of the galaxy, let alone the right star system.
Typical.
Let me think. Unless you have some way to verify that I said, like, if you watched the VOD or whatever, like, I don't remember telling you where in the system it was. I'm also getting to be fair, I'm also getting conflicting memories of other people playing this portion of the game in their campaigns that I've watched. So I may be getting things jumbled, but I don't remember telling you guys or giving you a hint where in the system it was.
I thought Winter and the Navigator both rolled fairly well looking at said shard, and we had some narrowing down.
You know what? If you give me... Actually, I'm going to have...
And unfortunately, that would be in Rodance's notes, not mine.
Yeah, and I'm going to go... Because I have her character sheet, so I'm going to go with a... Omniscience, which is Perception, 48. I will give her... give her a 58. All right, let me update my notes really quick, and then we'll have a brief scene with Winter.
Woot.
So she's checking the shard again, or in
I'll explain. Purposes? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how to play Winter, so hopefully I'm not doing a disservice here. but a day or two after you have arrived and you have set your augers on full scan mode, scan everything, Winter requests an audience with the Lord Captain.
And it would be granted.
Lord Captain, I have spent some time with the Nemelith and doing some meditations and other things that, frankly, I don't know if I should bother explaining to you because they are of the warp and perhaps not, maybe best left unsaid. I am drawn to something on the surface of the planet, the prime planet of this system, but also, you know the feeling of a child pulling on your coattails? I'm having that feeling somewhere in the Shard Halo, but I can't pinpoint it, and that is billions and billions of cubic kilometers through which to scan. It would take years, if not lifetimes, to scan every possible angle of the Halo.
Rough day.
I hope
No,
not. The drawback to having Zoom, but only two people with their faces, you can't tell if they're like frozen or not.
yes. Your direction for this tugging. Can you point a direction towards where from the direction of the ship, or is it just a general feeling?
It's a general feeling. I can't, despite my best efforts, and I assure you, or let me assure you, I have tried. I have not been able to narrow it down by any means. It's a pervasive feeling. I wonder if perhaps the stronger pull to Magoros Prime is the better route.
Yes, my thoughts were that the Magro's Prime would be the place to start, and perhaps it will point us toward where we should go within the belt.
Yes, that might be the better course. Going there, perhaps within the ruins of the Xenos that lived there once, we could find something to point us to the correct quadrant, and from there we can do a more definitive search. Have our augurs found any other ships, perhaps that fell, fellow?
Well, have they?
I don't know. Would you like to check in with one of your
Fellow.
bridge peoples?
Well, but you say after several days have passed. That literally would have been the first thing that I would have been.
Yeah,
checking.
well, I mean, so I'm picturing, and I'm not 100% sure how it works in 40K, but you've spent a couple days here already. You've been doing exhaustive scans all around you. No, you have not picked up the presence of anybody else. But also, as a GM, I wanted to remind you that there was something of a race taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Although, of course, I know the full story there,
as-
so I'm not going to tell you that.
As soon as I would have been given any indication that the planet was the correct direction, it would be, with all possible speed. Is there any planets or other asteroids or anything else, any obstacles that we would have to traverse, or anything that anyone could hide within on the way to the primary planet?
No, but there is one problem that has popped up periodically. Let me see. The flickering eye.
The star.
Yes, give me just a minute. Every 102 minutes, actually closer to 103 minutes, there is a wave of radiation that sweeps out across the system. The pulse is powerful enough to blind sensors for a moment and to send stuttering ripples through void shields. Your crew has, for lack of a better phrase, adapted the ship's parameters for the auger arrays and the shields and whatnot. But it is obviously noted very quickly that anybody exposed to this radiation wave without the protection of the ship or an atmosphere is liable to be fried alive. And this happens about every hour and a half or so. And the downtime, once it hits, is about 1 to 2 minutes before your system resets.
Yes.
Basically, it's overloaded, and then it's like it calms down again.
Jace has a particular void suit of note. Does it provide any additional protection against this sort of thing?
I would actually need to see if there's any. I'm going to go ahead and waive that it provides a minimal amount of protection, like probably 1 or 2 full-on blasts, and then it's no longer effective.
Okay. Don't know that we'll need it. Just curious.
Your augurs do indicate that there are substantial ruins in one section of the planet Magoros Prime, including what appears to be a particularly large and/or tall structure worthy of further investigation. Those that are saying the members of your bridge crew and whatnot that are saying it's worthy of further investigation are speaking more perhaps in a generic sense, unless you want to do a further, more detailed scan.
I see no reason to not focus our scans in that vicinity as we close with the planet.
Okay. Let's see. As you draw closer to the planet, it is basically a desolate wasteland, dirty gray surface choked by clouds and dust. Let's say several days later, which means I need to update my other notes really quick, so give me just a second. Somebody roll 2d10 for me. $11. I gotta do some math.
The horror.
Yep. Okay. Man. Jesus Christ, I can't spell orbit. In orbit over Koronus.
You know, like the gum.
It takes about 11 days in total from arrival in the system to get to Magoros Prime. From orbit, it is easy to identify ruins covering large sections of the surface of the planet, but little else. Anybody wanting to make, well, I've already told you, so you don't need to make this roll. These ruins belong to the Acheron Dominion, which, if you look on page 345, actually don't look on page 345, because I think that's actually in the adventure that we're doing. Yep, that would indeed be in the adventure that we're doing. Oh, well, maybe not. So the Acheron Dominion was once a populous Xenos domain that spanned a handful of close stars. Many millennia past, alien civilization that dwelt in this domain fell victim to a nameless doom that left only empty, desolate worlds and crumbling structures in its wake. Principal worlds of the Dominion are dry, cool desert planets covered by tightly packed structures that form a vast maze in 3 dimensions. Walls and corners hundreds of meters high and extending in belts for thousands of kilometers across the desert plains. These claustrophobic Xenos complexes are buried by windblown sand and dry soil. Their borders ragged cliffs that mark the edge of lowland deserts. Picture... I'm assuming everybody here's watched Black Hawk Down. And if you think of some of the overhead aerial shots of Mogadishu, and how everything was like tightly packed in as far as different buildings and whatnot, this is kind of what these ruins look like, except, half of them are buried by windblown sand, and they also reach, as it said, in 3 dimensions, so it's also height as well as length and breadth across the
Wakanda
surface.
Dishu, if you will.
I'm sorry, one more time?
I said Wakanda Dishu, if you will.
No, this is not Wakanda Forever in the 40K universe. Jesus Christ, Rev.
No, I said a cross between Wakanda and Mogadishu.
Oh, sure, I guess. I'm not sure how Wakanda works into that, though, but...
Skyscrapers, tall buildings.
Oh,
sci-fi.
yeah. Gotcha. There is, and it's much more evident now that you're in orbit. You can see a really large and really tall structure standing out clearly from the surrounding ruins and wreathed in an invisible cloud of electromagnetic disturbance. A giant crystalline structure. Unmistakably unique. Doesn't quite match the rest of the, let's say, decor. I can't think of the right damn word.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic, thank you.
Texture.
Yeah, like everything else is like mud brick and whatnot, and then all of a sudden there's this giant crystalline structure sticking up from the middle of it. But also because it's coming from the middle of it, it seems like this was either predates the Agarians or the Agarians built it and then built their cities around it.
But it's not. It doesn't appear to be Imperial in design.
Oh no, this is absolutely not. Yeah, there's nothing here marking it as something of man.
So nothing here that would seem to indicate the galleon.
Correct. Give me either some sort of scanning roll, and I know there's a couple of different skills that may or may not be used there. Let's call this a scan roll for additional information.
Well,
Use-
there
use
is an
tech use?
augury check.
Yeah. What Altarius?
I was gonna
There
say
is a
that tech.
specific.
Okay,
Go
it's
ahead,
specific.
sorry.
Okay.
Tech
I know
use.
there's a.
That's one roll. That's an option.
Well, there is a tech use, but there also is a roll based off of
Your ship's stats or whatever.
a combination of the ship's stats, and I'm looking for the skills. It's based off of the. I'm looking. I don't know where it is because I know it's a thing that happens in combat when you're trying to scan and lock onto another ship with your sensors.
Oh yes.
But it's based off of your perception and the ship's sensors.
You have deep void auger array, but that's more for scanning deep space. You have see, what skills do you guys have? There's obviously tech use. There's
You can do the tech use thing, but I want to double check the rules later on. But I thought that like
Well, I mean,
when
I
we
don't-
were
I don't have
scanning the
augury,
mine,
so you're gonna
when we
have
were
to.
when we were scanning the mine, and when we were that space mine, and we were scanning for their ships, it was some sort of roll based off the ship, plus someone's perception.
I mean, if you want to do that, do it.
I'll tell
I
you
just
what,
wanna know who
whatever
has
if
decent
you
perception.
do tech use or if you do perception, I'll give you a plus 15 because that will include the ship's I have detection. What does it say? Yeah, just a detection stat of plus 15. So I'm assuming that comes from your scanners. So if you use tech use or
Icarus.
perception.
Icaros, give us your best scan of the planet.
Oh,
My perception's
that's a
only-
plus 10 right there, it sounds like.
Yes, but he also said you could use tech use.
Tech use, I've got a 43. Perception, I've got a 46.
Alterios, what's your tech use?
58.
Okay.
Does somebody have a perception higher than 58?
That's good.
Nope.
All right, so with the 58 and plus 25, that's 93, 83.
Sounds right.
Way to make that roll, son. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called you son. Oh, look at that. Another purge, 2 nights in a row.
What?
What?
Oh, somebody's trying to get me to buy viewers. Jackass. At least say hi first, fuckface. 41. All right. You get the following pieces of information. It appears as though, as you're going over your scans, that decades ago, an orc raiding fleet limped into the system and crashed onto this planet. What you are finding is random bits of orc shit in orbit that haven't quite degraded enough over the time to be burnt up in atmosphere, but there are also what appears to be distinct crash patterns across the planet's surface, indicating that some orcs made it to the surface and probably lived.
Ooh.
Based on this information, I will assume, and you could tell me if I'm crazy, but I will assume that at some point you're either going to point this out and have the scan crew do even more detailed scans as best they can from your position in orbit. But you are able to identify that there is at least one warband of orcs active on the planet's surface, and they are active. The area around the star mirror, which is that gigantic crystalline structure.
Ho, ho,
Warner.
ho.
Green giant.
What?
What?
In the
What?
ever-loving shit was that?
Rev, what'd you do?
I love how everybody just assumed it was Rev.
Well, first off, I want to know how much of the filters did that cut off?
We all heard ho 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 green giant.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That seems pretty self-explanatory to me.
Yes.
Also, please, for the love of God, a little bit of heads up first, because I really thought somebody hacked our shit. Not literally hacked, but I was like, okay, hold on.
Who's in here?
Yeah, who else is in this call that shouldn't be here right now?
I've been waiting for orcs to be mentioned so I could push that.
I'm sure you have.
I was waiting for orcs so I could say, "Hey, Warner, it's your favorite thing."
Well, there's that
Kill
too.
me some greenskins. Oh, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Oh, goody. It's time to kill me some greenskins, yeah. Almost happy of days.
Lastly, because of this continued detailed scan that probably takes a few hours and a couple of passes as you orbit the planet, I'm going under the auspices of you're going to gather whatever intel you can about these orcs in case you have to go down there. You also notice, Alturios, you in particular, Icarus, I should say, you notice that there are distinct power readings of an unknown type emanating around the crystalline structure itself. It has its own source of power, and it is active. And it is absolutely powering something in that crystalline structure. What exactly, you're not 100% sure. It's difficult to make out.
Funky.
Does any of his scan reveal any sort of crater or hangar or anything that could hold something the size of a treasure galleon?
No.
Anything of Imperial architecture or any sort of canyon system or canyon near here?
Are you asking with the intent of, is it possible that the Righteous Path itself has crash landed here somewhere?
Crash landed, been hidden in a canyon, that kind of thing.
No, there's a lot of dry ocean beds that as far as the terrain, basically the terrain it's 0% hydrography, so not hardly any standing water ever. So dry ocean beds, desert, and then these sprawling labyrinth type cities.
Hmm.
And then of course the one that has your attention has the crystalline structure sticking up out of the middle of it, as well as a swarm of orcs.
I'm really hoping the orcs haven't gotten their hands on a treasure galleon.
Well, the question that I would ask is, would the orcs even know about the treasure galleon? It would take some sort of almost stone falling out of the sky miracle to get the orcs to be like, oh, hey, look, there's a treasure ship over there.
Thank you for letting me know the treasure ship is in the asteroid field.
By over there, I meant on the other side of the planet, maybe, or moon. I don't know.
No, you were pretty clear. But let's. Is there any?
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes.
Because of the orcs, or because of Rev. Maybe it's both.
Both.
All of the above.
I love how everybody's like both. All right.
So, of these scans, your scans, do they reveal a good place to put down a shuttle, someplace potentially we won't be landing amidst the guns of the orcs?
I don't know, DM, do they?
Your seneschal approaches with a data slate that shows something of a green digitalized wire scan of a few kilometers around that crystalline structure, and there is a portion to the south that is, excuse me, to the southeast that appears to be open enough where you could drop a few landers to proceed on foot if that's what you wanted to do. However, I must point out, Lord Captain, that once on the ground, there is apparently a significant cloud of electromagnetic energy that will hamper communications with us in orbit. In short, you will likely be on your own. Secondly, the air is thin atmosphere with particulate matter, strongly encouraged to bring rebreathers at a minimum.
Yes, I do believe we all have rebreathers.
I think we actually purchased rebreathers for the.
That's
for
what I'm
the,
saying.
Yeah, I don't know if we purchased enough for the await for another, like the super squad that you guys have been building.
I thought
Super
we got a
squad.
bulk. I thought we got a bulk purchase. But anyway,
I don't know. That's why I was like that's why I said I don't know. I don't know.
He said, "I don't know," because he didn't know.
Yes, not that I doubted that you guys got it.
Amazing. Who would have guessed such a thing?
Such a wild, crazy idea.
I'm a unstoppable force of nature.
Indeed.
well, can the GM tell us whether or not our supporting soldiers would have rebreathers at hand?
I think you can bring at least a squad or two down with rebreathers,
Very well.
Woot.
as well as any other NPCs and player characters that you would like to bring.
I'm
Well-
assuming my void suit would have a rebreather built into it.
Yeah, your droid suits would absolutely work, as long as you had sufficient power and air and whatnot. Which, obviously, they would all be topped off before you left the ship. That would be
Right.
stupid to leave with less than full.
Oops, you didn't roll for it. Guess you're leaving without your air tank.
Yeah, I'm picturing the Alien game that I ran last night. I'm just like, oh, by the way, check for air. Anyway.
So yes, we'll be setting down here, taking the support teams, and we'll need food. So given the unknown length of the stay, we should probably bring the cook with us.
Oh, God, what did I name him? I already forgot.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff,
that's what I
the-
thought.
Jeff
Yeah.
the-
Jeff
Ogren
the
chef.
chef.
Jeff the chef. Of course I named him that. Yep, there he is.
Pineapple
OFF.
upside down, exploding.
Pineapple, yeah,
Pineapple
upside down,
upside down
pineapple.
grenade.
Yep, I love that. That was my favorite one. The rock soup was good, but that other one was even better. Okay.
It's been 3 months. Have you come up with another dish?
You know what? I need to come up with another dish. You guys might be getting fucking pocket sandwich. Pocket sandwiches. Pocket sandwiches. I'm making it a fucking thing. He's bringing a fucking collection of pocket sandwiches. Fucking fits. Pocket
I was gonna
sand,
say,
desert planet.
I suppose we'll be eating cream of orc in a while here.
Well, I mean, orc meat is in theory edible.
It is a it would be somewhat akin to eating mushrooms, I suppose.
Yes.
That's why I made the joke. Cream of orc.
I just really love how I just completely, without any brain power whatsoever, came up with the idea of pocket sandwiches.
Pocket sandwiches.
Yep. All right.
Are they hot pocket sandwiches?
Oh.
No, unfortunately not. They're cold. Well, picturing. So this is what made me come up with the idea. It's like, what would the Ogren chef bring on short notice? You know what? He's just gonna make a couple dozen sandwiches and throw them all in a bunch of sandwich bags, and then throw a bunch of them into brown paper bags.
Okay.
Pocket
First,
sandwiches.
They're made
Does
for
the-
ogren pockets, so they're fucking huge.
Yep.
Do Ziploc bags exist in the Warhammer 40K universe?
Listen,
The STC was lost.
I'm sure they would have made some sort of sealable container made from the boiled, hardened remnants of promethium, i.e., plastic.
Oh no! That'd
Could
be
you imagine
funny.
boiling promethium?
Oh,
The sandwiches are actually made from plastic and corpse starch.
There's a video game. It's
mm.
Hard Space Shipbreaker. If you've ever looked into it, one of the things you have to check in the beginning of the game is a block for what kind of meal plan you want, and you have to specify whether or not to include plastic in your food.
I think I got the chicken, which made my game more expensive.
Yeah,
My debt more expensive.
yeah. The last time I played when I first played it during like the open beta or something like that, it was like about $1 billion. And then when I played it again after I believe it had gone live, it was like up to $1.5 billion. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is too fucking real, man. This is too real. All right, are we heading down to the surface of the planet?
Is there any objection not to? Everyone get all of your supplies together.
Okay.
No objection here.
I don't want to go because I'm a weenie. I'm joking.
Oops. Stand by one moment.
There's literally an alien crystalline piece of technology down on the planet.
I know. I'm joking. No one's like who would be playing this game and be like, I don't really feel like going, guys. I'm just
You're right. I want to play this game, but I don't want to do anything that would require me to play this game.
It's kind of dangerous down there. I think I'll sit this one out.
Okay. So we've got Jeff the chef, and where I'm placing him is your deployment area. Is Anastasia or Marcellus joining you guys from your other NPCs, or Winter for that matter?
Are they?
Winter has to calm down, right?
Yeah.
It'd be weird not to.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels wrong.
Which one do you want? You want Winter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially since Winter just got their new Psyker sword.
Okay. What about Marcellus and Anastasia? Are they coming, or you want to leave them on the ship?
Well, the navigator I don't want getting injured, and somebody has to stay in command of the ship.
Okay, so they will stay back. Let's get Rev's character over here. Let's get Reinhardt over here.
Do we have should there be some emergency in orbit, like the fell hand showing up?
Mm-hmm.
While they might not be able to get a signal to us, is there some sort of beacon or something that we could take with us that they could, say, send some sort of message pod or something?
Marcellus actually has an idea. Lord Captain, perhaps one shuttle set for emergency flight to the surface to penetrate the atmospheric interference layer and relay information to you and back up to the ship as needed should.
So not actually land, just come down below the interference.
Relay basically come down to like high atmosphere or low atmosphere to transfer information as needed. Although he may have to get closer than one might expect.
Maybe perhaps a 24-hour check-in at a specified time, so that we can relay information back as well.
I wonder, Lord Captain, if 24 hours is too infrequent. Perhaps a little bit more often, maybe every 3 to 4 hours, 6 hours. We certainly have the manpower to rotate pilots through. Don't feel that we can. I don't feel like that would be a detriment.
Every 3 hours then seems reasonable. It gives time for shuttle maintenance in between flights.
So every 6 hours, you said?
I thought you said 3.
I was doing something else. I don't multitask well, in case you never noticed. But 3 is fine. 6 is fine.
3, 4, and 6 are all nicely divisible by a 24-hour time scale. However,
yes.
What is the rotational period of this world?
Oh, you know what? I don't have that information, and it's probably something ridiculous, like, a prime number.
I was gonna say the
19.62 hours, but the hours aren't counted in 60 minutes; they're counted in 66 minutes. Yeah. You want to fuck around? I'll start counting things by second.
Give me a second to do the math. Now everyone else will have to wait because you wanted to punish me. All right, let me see. 66 minutes per hour.
Was that
At
actually in the
19 point-
book, or was that buried in some reference material?
That was me throwing out some random ass bullshit.
Okay, I was gonna say because there's I expected it not to be in there, and I expect there to be like a wiki entry somewhere on the Lexiconum that's like, oh yes, this planet.
Yeah,
has a
Mogoros
period
Prime
of-"
has a rotational period of 19.82 hours.
Ugh.
I totally made up some shit.
Okay,
are we
cool.
bringing well, more accurately, how many of the ship's troops are you bringing down?
Well, probably
And-
one squad to
Go ahead.
one squad to come with us and one squad to secure the landing zone at the very minimum.
And
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
and to recall specifically, how many men are in your guys' squads? Your definition of a squad, is it 10?
Yes.
So, and a 10 is led by a sergeant. And so basically a sergeant and 9, and then a lieutenant in charge of multiple squads. Is that how that works for you guys? Or is it slightly different?
I think that sounds about right.
The organization.
I know the organization could be widely interpreted as many different things, so I just...
Yeah, we had the lieutenant who was in charge of all of them,
Correct.
and then
there's a
yeah.
couple of sub-lieutenants as needed based on whatever your organization might be. And then obviously sergeants absolutely are the minimum leader for the squad.
Mhm.
So
You can't let grunts down to those sergeant. They'll go crazy.
So I will do this. Eight. Just need one. Grunts, and we'll just assume the squad is the other squad is at the ship off the map. Okay. Then let me see what my notes say. Alright, so we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 people. Jeff the chef and Winter. So 5. Oops.
I'm getting a lot of error messages.
As am I.
Are the models not loading?
Right.
Yep, Steam user content, blah blah blah.
I am seeing what one would refer to as an orc, but without any coloration and very limited detail.
I see one orc, and then the rest are
I
white
see
spheres.
I see a number of white spheres as well. Yes.
Okay, let me do this. All right, this one. What does he look like? Do we have detail? Do we have textures? Do we have
black sphere?
A black metallic sphere.
All right, what about this guy?
White sphere. Or I'm sorry, it's a white orc. But then the other one on the other side of that, there's a white sphere in the rocks.
Okay. So this one is the most detailed that you guys have.
It's the only one that even looks like an orc.
Okay.
But
it's
is
a
sadly
shitty.
lacking.
It's a shoddy, shitty version.
It looks like you took a Dawn of War model and stripped all the texturing off of it.
I don't know what to tell you on that, other than maybe you guys. You know what I think it is actually, because I pulled these models from various mods, and by various I have a couple of different Warhammer mods, for TTS, and because you guys don't have those on your computers, that might be the problem. If that makes sense.
I know
May
TTS is always
indeed.
kind of finicky with models.
Or I should say mods. They're workshops.
Yeah.
When you go to the TTS in your library and then you go to workshop or whatever the hell it
Steam
is.
workshops.
Yep. And so after the stream, I will post which ones I have to let you guys know, so you can, if you
That's
want
weird
to.
because like the Imperial Guard.
Well,
all
if
look
we're
fine.
your friends on Steam, we should be able to view what mods for TTS you have downloaded. And
That
so you
is
can-
also an option.
And so if you tell us which ones, we can just pick from that list rather than search on our own.
Yeah, because I have a bunch of different mods. Probably more
Well,
BattleTech than
but
there is Warhammer.
if you just copy pastes the name in the fucking
I suppose
Discord,
that
we
could
should be
work
able
too.
to get it.
You
Um,
might even be able to link the workshop pages.
in fact, let me look really quick here.
It's weird because I see all the Imperial Guard models just fine.
Well, you may have those workshops as well.
We do not, or I do not.
Well, that
I mean, like I
don't
said,
know.
Tabletop Simulator is always.
this
kinda
is
finicky
true. It
with
does
mods.
get a little weird at times. Where did I?
And to be fair, like the different character models, we gave you those files. We don't. I don't have the file for Winter's character. I don't have the file for Reinhard
That's,
de
yeah,
Hammerhorn.
that's fair. Yeah,
Yep.
that's fair too. Where is this it? Full army bags. Okay, that might be it. So, is there a way to? I don't want to do.
I feel like I'm
Oh,
missing
info.
a desert fatigues, a gas mask, and a Lehman Russ right now. Because this terrain kind of looks Armageddon-y.
Oh, the terrain. This
Yeah.
is a. I made this map in oh my god, Incarnate.
Okay.
In TTS chat is the name of the workshop that I probably pulled these models from, the orc model, and then that incarnate.com is where I came up with the map. It's just so you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to do anything with it if you don't want.
Okay,
to
now the red sand, does it extend to the middle, or is there a patch of harder sand at the middle of the map?
One moment. Let me think. I have to redirect my brain power. Give me just a quick second here, guys.
Yeah.
Giving my kid a hug before he goes to bed. Okay, so you're talking about the darker color sand reduces movement, etc.
Yes.
Okay, so the easiest way to define that is actually, let me get a pencil out.
What I'm asking, and I'll hold this over the map. This area here, is that harder sand, or is that part of the red sand?
Give me a second. I don't know if you can see that I'm drawing something, but
I can. I just wanted to clarify.
yep. That's why I'm making this outline right now, so you can see that the stuff I'm outlining is where the loose sand is, based on what I can see from something I made months ago. All right, so if you're inside those areas, that's the loose sand. The loose windblown sand.
terrain.
Yeah. Let's see. The stones provide +10 armor and are tall enough to crouch behind. The red rocks break line of sight as they are 3 meters or more tall. So that would be this rock up here, this one down here, and this one here. The rest are you'd have to crouch behind, but you still get the +10.
Okay. If we are behind a red rock and poking out to shoot, does that provide any sort of cover?
The plus, actually, I'll probably give you like a +20 armor.
Okay.
Give me a second. I forgot how many orcs I need to put on the table here. Let's see.
One more, slugger boy.
And these all should have full stance with shooter, grenades, and stuff. Okay. Now let's put some.
Makes my next character an orc freebooter just to make Warner mad.
That'd be hilarious. Okay. Obviously, measurement is using the tab draw. Well, that's Actually, just gives you a straight line, doesn't it? Nope, it gives you a
Ooh, ooh.
measurement. 1 inch to 1 point of movement, etc. We're not going to start the fight tonight. I just want to show you what you're up against so you can plan for it accordingly for next week. So
Cool.
screenshot as needed because it is.
I don't think I have the brain power for.
Yeah,
combat.
we are 40 minutes shy of end of stream, so we're just gonna start wrapping here because this is the best place to stop at this point. So with that said, let me get to my outro bits and my notes. All right, 200 points of experience for everybody. And you know what? Because you made it through that warp with absolutely no problem, take another 50 on top of it. So 250 experience for everybody.
250. 250.
Let me update my 3 NPCs
250.
as well, so they get their experience points.
Yay.
550 for that one. 50 for that one.
I think that should bring our total to about 10,050.
From 8,000? No, you're only getting 250. You were at
No,
about
like
8,000.
like our total XP earned over the whole campaign.
Yeah. You're sitting at about 8,000, I thought.
8,000.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
was-
Never mind. My math is. My brain is like off right now. It's past my bedtime.
No worries. With that in mind, though, Alterios, let me start with you first.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Australis says you get a bonus 50 XP for not ending up as a pet of some chaos demon.
Yay.
If we got 250, I had more than 8,000 as my total.
Well, that was the 8,000 was a number that was thrown out at the beginning of the stream,
Yeah, that
or
was
before the stream.
that was
actually.
what I said. I don't
So
know.
you should be at it with that.
You should
be
be
in
around
the,
8,050 is what I have.
Yeah, 80 between 8 and 8,300. I think is a fair number.
Yeah, so, see, I have 83.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
sure. I'll go with that because I don't remember where everybody's at exactly. And I feel like as long as we're all within probably about 1,000 points of each other, we should be okay. I think if we start drifting more than that, we might see some. That's where, like, to use D&D as an analogy, that's where you might see somebody at like level 8 versus somebody at level 7 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I don't think it'll be that much of a problem as long as I'm paying attention to the encounters.
Can I be level 20?
No, never. Feedback and outros. Let's start with Alterios. What sort of feedback, outro, comment do you have, sir? Since you have to get out of here more quickly than the rest of us.
not too much. It was nice to play again.
It absolutely fucking was.
Even with how late this game is for me. Kind of sad not having Rodance here, but we'll make do.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like it. I'll be honest. When she's like, "I'm gonna have to bow out of this game," I think, fuck, no, please don't. But I also understood where she's coming from, and she's also deep in the other game that I run weekly, so I couldn't really step on it. And I'm not gonna. I mean, if a player says they need to bow out, there's only so much I can do before it's just either they bow out or I manage to miraculously convince them otherwise. So.
I mean, I was thinking about it because I had class coming up, but it hasn't been that bad, so I won't need to.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because if we weren't able to make the schedule fit, I was definitely in panic mode. Like, what do I do now? John Basilone plot armor? No, nobody's getting plot armor. With your crazy ideas that I have not been paying attention to all night.
I was gonna say, I think the only one who might have a modicum of plot armor is Rev's character, because if he dies, the Rogue Trader is kind of over, because the Rogue Trader is dead.
Yeah, and he has no heirs, unlike in Pendragon, where you can just quickly roll up another character because you've got plenty of people in your family wandering around.
Maybe
He just adds another number to the end of his goddamn name.
Another name, another title.
Borgadillo the fourth.
Yeah, Borgadillo Van Breeze Gisbeth the fourth.
Yeah, there you go. Alterios, you got anything
Defender of
else?
his enormous manhood.
No, just it was fun. It was fun being back here.
It absolutely, truly was. Shock collars is how you keep players in games. Yes, you're right, Australis. Unfortunately, shock collars never came in. I ordered them. They just haven't showed up. I guess they're on back.
I mean, if you got a masochist, I'm not sure if you're sending the right message. They get the wrong
Darius.
idea. They get too attached. No.
You'll
Darius.
only shock me if I leave the game.
Sounds
See,
like
now you
challenge
got Rev
accepted.
going.
Yeah, really. Rev's just like challenge accepted, motherfucker. I'm gonna dip out every week.
Shock the monkey tonight.
Darius, any outro feedback comments, please? God help us, save us from this chaos.
It's nice being back. I'm glad you finally got your computer fixed.
Same here.
Other than that, it was a good session. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. All right, Warner.
All right.
I know you've got like
So-
a full page worth of notes about how dumb I am, so let's go.
No.
Half page.
You're not dumb. I would say that the space travel is a slog.
It can be, yes. Absolutely.
Like, hey, we're making the same rolls 8 gazillion times. As opposed to, we're adapting to a new situation that's novel, and yeah, we're rolling the same stats, but
Yeah.
it feels different.
There
I
was
mean,
a
like, I think part of the fun is actually failing and then like dealing with the warp fuckery
that's
or whatever.
that's where some of the change or the unique novelty or whatever. But of course, at this point, when you fail, you just know, oh my god, shit is about to get fucking real. There's a playlist, and I can't off the top of my head remember who it was I was watching that they did a Rogue Trader, and when they came back from Agoros, they ended up having to make something like 47 or 52 encounter rolls to get back to Footfall, and they made every one of them over like 2 sessions, and they managed to make it.
Yikes.
But it was bad. It was fucking bad. Like I remember
But
watching,
yikes.
yeah, like watching them make the initial rolls that got them in that many encounter rolls. It was just like, holy shit. And fortunately for them, one thing the GM did do, knowing that was about to happen, I think he rolled the encounters before, like as part of their prep. And so every time so they got back together in the session, he said, okay, guys, for week 1, choose this or this. And they chose it, they dealt with it, and, attempted to evade it. And then if it failed, then they dealt with whatever the in-game consequences were. And they would go to the next one. All right, here's option A and option B. Which one do you want to deal with? And they slogged their way through it. It was a slog, but it was good entertainment to watch as a viewer. I don't know if, like tonight, what do we have? We had like 9, and you guys managed to evade every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure from the player's perspective, there was a fair amount of stress, which is okay. But
It was disappointing.
disappointing that nothing happened, like traveling through time.
He
no time
wants
travel.
to save his mother.
I know he does. But anyway, I don't want to take away from anything else you have, Warner, because I'm sure you've got a couple other things you want to point out.
What if I'm my own father?
That wow.
Gross.
Please do not.
Oedipus,
Please do
calm
not.
down,
Please do
Oedipus.
not.
Calm
No,
down.
no, we don't need this.
Okay, my next feedback is I know Rev's the one who invited me, but please no more Rev in the game.
Wow.
In all seriousness, it is good to be back. I did miss this.
Same.
It was a little
Spoiler,
bit
his
slow.
mother is Slanesh. That's how he ends up being his own father.
Uh-huh.
She who thirsted for him.
Oh
Oh
god.
my.
I'm sorry, Warner. Please continue.
It's all right. It was a bit slow getting back into things, but that's natural. We were literally getting back into things. So, I don't hold that against anyone in particular.
So I'm going to ask, because you did mention it during play,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with the navigator attempting to avoid psychic encounters. the system I have in place. I could send you my notes or my rules or whatever, and if you would like, you can review them, pass back feedback or whatever. But based on what you've seen so far, what thoughts, if any, do you have? As
So
arbitrary as they
I'm
may
going
seem.
to, lay my cards on the table here. I am not a fan of randomness.
Okay.
I mean, all games have a certain amount of RNG to them. It's
Yeah.
what keeps things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That there is some variance. Otherwise, you literally are just doing the same things over and over again with no change.
Right.
Some games get around that, like Diplomacy gets around that by the human element being pure variance. But I have a lower threshold for variance than some people. So when the game is purely we randomly roll on this table and we randomly roll on this table, the last thing I want to hear is, hey, I've made this character a table of randomness.
That's fair. I can see that.
It's not that crosses my threshold.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's if we have to choose this or that, it's hey, we have to choose this, and it's going to be random. We don't know what the odds are. It's just it's out there. Something's going to happen, or we have a chance. We have to roll this, and we have to roll this, and to avoid it.
Yeah. If it was a player character doing that, and you said, the player character would, role play out, how they want to do that, fight or whatever in their head. If I'm that role player, I'm looking at my sheet of skills and stats and going, maybe I can't justify using the same one all the time,
Right.
but I'm going to pick between,
These 3 or
some
4 that
strong
yeah.
options.
Yeah.
Hey, my ballistics tests are off the chain, but I've got a good strength, a good agility, a decent toughness, a decent willpower, and a decent weapon skill. So I can go between those things.
Yeah.
That I'm certainly not going to fucking pick my fellowship. I'm not going to have a
Yep.
space debate with the demon.
Yeah.
Not based on my character sheet. And so to have a random roll table where the NPC may pick to have the space debate with their 21 fellowship feels like some bullshit.
That's a fair assessment, and also it is a possibility that a similar scenario does come up. I will say, if you look on PDF page 33 in the Navis Primer, it does talk about avoiding psychic encounters, and what that looks like for the navigator, and then I can also send you my rules for this section, and you can see how I've tried to follow that as best I can. Unfortunately, unless somebody has a better, which I am open to a better idea, I don't know how to have an NPC navigator, no pun intended, navigate such a thing. You know what I mean? And still follow the gist of what I thought is the intent for the rules.
I was gonna say, like, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't feel too much different than my DM going, let's see. You fail this thing, so I'm going to set up an encounter for you, and you're going to do, and then you just picking off the top of your head. It's just the fact that this has become a table instead of you just picking something.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what Warner would rather have is you declaring
more,
it based on their character, instead of
If
just.
So
part of these things is a story, and if rolling things helps you to get your creative juices going, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I'd be just fine with you narrating some of this stuff.
Well, I had considered that, but I think the problem with doing it like that is that the navigator's in the Nav's sanctum or whatever the hell it's called, away from you guys for very important reasons. The third eye and all that stuff. So what would you guys see is really, and because this is more or less a duel of psychers in a sense, you wouldn't necessarily see anything. It would just be
right.
Oh shit, she didn't do very well. Now we're having fucking hallucinations, and oh my, is that a displacer beast? I realize that
Oh,
I'm
no.
crossing genres here.
I know.
But
There's
you know,
probably
it's
something
a
equivalent.
peak demon. Oh fuck.
Oh, look, a Tarask.
Wow, that's big. And so like I think one thing I can attempt is maybe reviewing the different skill rolls or whatever that are in this set of randoms and change them out for skills that are a little bit more likely to succeed with a fair amount of potential failure, just so it's not like,
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's like, for
failure
instance,
is real.
yeah,
I'm not
I think for
opposed to failing.
Well, given the fact that nothing's going to be 100, potential failure is already built into even their better skill, even their best skill.
yeah. And so, for instance, it's a 25-point range for the 4 different types of tests initially, and then once the type of test is chosen, then there's a couple of rolls, that 1 or 2 rolls that are made to determine which specific thing gets tested. The contest of strength, which is the one that came up tonight, the 3 options were weapon skill, toughness skill, or intelligence skill. And it just happened that we fell on the weapon skill, which is shit. You know, in this case, toughness, without looking at her sheet, it's probably not much better, but it's probably a little bit better. And obviously intelligence, she's not stupid.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of, I get it, because the randomness in determining which thing is going to be tested definitely takes away player agency.
And it's randomness on top of randomness.
Yes.
We're already rolling on a bunch of random charts.
Yes. So I wonder, in fact, what I'll do, Warner, is I will DM what I have for how Anastasia avoids psychic encounters, and I will absolutely be happy to hear any feedback that you have for it. But
my feedback would be is this: you gave a set of key thing a second ago.
Yeah.
You said that it would be like we didn't see anything, but let's use the Shadowrun example. I think from before we started the stream, you would still have a whole session where you and the hacker are going through what happens there. And I'm not saying that you fully roll out all the dice, but you can certainly narrate a scene of what it looks like for the navigator to be fighting this in the psychic warp, and we haven't actually seen it, but you can still narrate a scene.
Okay, I see. So I can still tell the story. It's just that your characters wouldn't know that because it's out of character information for you guys. That's
but
fair
it's
too.
still entertaining for the players and the viewers.
Yeah, and the viewers.
And so even when so would that mitigate some of the random on top of random?
Some of it, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because that actually forces, that would make it kind of interesting, because now it does put me in a spot where I have to come up with a story on the spot.
And it would bring it back to as handled by the rules.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because if it was a player character, those 4 types of challenges would then be role played out between the character and the GM, and a dice roll or 2 made based on choices, which would of course include, like, well, obviously I'm not going to use my skill that would be a 96% chance of success, because
and you have had a GM. And you've had a GM-controlled NPC shoot at a GM-controlled enemy before.
Yeah, this is true. In fact, there's going to be a lot of it next week. Actually, no, because I think what we'll do also on that note is, with you guys and your ship's troops, and obviously Jeff and Winter, is the 4 of you will divvy up control of those individuals to some extent, like however you guys want to do it. I'm not going to, you know, one of you could take half of the grunts, the other one could take another half of the grunts, and then the other 2 could take the 2 NPCs.
I can take Jeff and Winter.
Yeah, and then, you know, like I said, however you guys want to divvy that up. Warner, was there anything else you wanted to throw in there before I moved on to Rev?
Nope. Feel free to move on.
I was gonna say, do not give me Winter, because I'll start slinging spells and it'll go badly.
Rev, you are the last one to give some feedback. You've given a little bit already, but I'll give you your specific moment. Please, what feedback, outro comment do you have?
Well, first, just to answer to Alterios, I would do my homework before I slung spells.
No. I said don't give it to me because I'll start slinging spells and it'll go poorly.
Oh, I thought you were saying don't give it to Riv. He'll summon
No,
a demon.
don't give
No,
it to
no.
me because
I think what he's saying is he's not even thinking about homework.
I get that.
He's already thinking about
No,
lightning
I'd be
bolts.
like, brain blast. That sounds like fun. Oh, demon.
How do I make that work? Never mind the fact that as he figures it out and he's already committed, that it's like, oh, that's a 5% chance of success and a 80%
Oh,
chance
well.
of chaos. Okay.
Oh well.
Well, if
Roll
there's
the
enough-
dice.
that die.
if there's enough orcs around, it's a self-solving problem. We let them fight and we leave.
One thing I need to add in my notes here is a note
But
card
no, I
for
think
the
I
orc
think I
feats.
gave
Sorry, go ahead.
I think I gave most of my feedback during others' feedback because that's how I am.
Yeah. Well, you have the same problem I have, is that we like to open our mouths without realizing that other people are still speaking. And I say that in jest, but also because I know I do that. I do that a lot, and I've been working on not doing it, and I fail constantly.
What I think it's more that I have what I have to say should, rather than repeating the whole conversation again later, just add on the small amount I have to say
Yeah.
in someone else's comment.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I'm not trying to imply that either of us are being outright rude. I mean, I may be and just not realize it, but it's definitely a thing I have to work on. What you decide to do with what you do is entirely up to you. With that, yes, absolutely, it was great to finally get back together again. The band is back together, -1, but we're still moving forward, and we've made it to Megaros finally. Weeks and weeks later.
Yay!
And now there's orcs, and there's this crystalline structure thing that we still have to figure out. And also, what happened to Haderach Fell and the Fell Hand? Because where the fuck are they? They should have gotten here by now.
Didn't actually say that, so now there's ogres.
Well, we have one on the table. His name is Jeff, and he brought pocket sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I'm just picturing two massive coolers, like your lunchbox coolers, just packed with pocket sandwiches.
As we're playing Winter and she's come with us, as Winter gets closer to this crystalline structure, does it seem any sort of psychic in nature?
We shall soon see, won't we? I almost struggled saying that on the first try.
We shall soon see.
The way the GM gets a player to stop talking is to insert with, and that is when the great worm red dragon lands in the middle of the PC's campsite. I did that a couple of times last night. All right. Any final thoughts before I wrap this up?
Is there a possibility of Red Dragon?
Maybe. I mean, it's Warhammer 40K. There's always a
Sandworms.
possibility. It's never a. It's always a non-0% chance.
Turns out we've actually shifted to the Dune universe and we start getting sandworms.
Sandworms. It's Shia.
Why is that guy over there going, Shia?
Why is that woman screaming incoherently?
Yeah, really. All right, my friends.
Why am I now doing something that I don't want to do?
All right, friends, that is it for us here tonight. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed the show, please consider liking and subscribing and all the other buttons between Twitch and YouTube. It's always appreciated. Never required.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
The red is spice.
That would actually be orange, but regardless. Please also consider joining our Discord server. You can find the link for it either in the description below in the YouTube video, or if you're still watching live on Twitch, you can type !Discord, all one word, etc., and it will generate the link in chat. Lastly, feel free to leave comments and likes on the YouTube video, and I'll be sure to answer within a reasonable time frame. That is it for us here. Thanks again for hanging out, and thanks to my players for all of us finally being able to get back together. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a grim, dark world, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we are out of here. We'll catch you next time.
Ja, auf Wiedersehen.